now beside Barry?
Well, I got Mackey, a tight end last year, a very good young football player out of Syracuse. He has great size and speed. And then a guy that always kills us, that little Jimmy Orr. Jimmy Orr and George Rose will be going at it today, and that'll be quite a battle.
All right, Norm, more football's coming up. We'll talk more about the Vikings after another word from Hair Ranger.
The perfect way to start your day, just shower and shave and a little HA. Yes, sir, just a few drops of refreshing HA Hair Ranger in the morning, and you can feel confident that you look well-groomed all day. And it takes so little effort to use. Just pour a little HA into the palm of your hand, rub your hands together, and massage HA into your hair. Then comb, and your hair looks naturally neat. Hair Ranger has a balanced formula to perfectly control unruly hair without plastering it down. HA is never sticky, greasy, or gummy. With HA, your hair looks right, lays right, stays right from morning till night. So, mister, if you haven't tried HA, why not pick up a bottle or tube today? Then tomorrow and every day, start your day the perfect way with HA. Hair Ranger. HA is guaranteed to satisfy or you get your money back.
Norm, John Campbell gets his big test this afternoon in place of Bill Jobco, who broke his arm last week. How do you feel about John's chances to do a good job there?
Well, he's been working with us now for 2 years, Sid. And if he don't know what to do by now, he's never going to know how to do the job. We feel that John has quickness, he has speed, he has strength, he has everything to be a fine linebacker. And this is a tremendous opportunity for John. And I'm sure that he'll do all right. We sure hope so for obvious reasons.
And how about Hal Betzold? He gets another chance to start, right?
That's right. Betzold is a great football player. Probably has more ability than any end that we've ever had at Minnesota. And I think that he's ready to go, and I hope he does well. He's a pretty good kid, and he just needs to catch a few balls and get going, and he's going to be a great end in this league.
Norm, we know we were with you last year, too, on this last trip you made to Baltimore. That wasn't a very good trip. Everything went wrong. You lost 41-10. I suppose they talk about Baltimore players having a little idea of revenge. I suppose your players feel the same way.
Right. We reminded our boys of that 41-10 score, and I don't think that we have to remind our boys to play. They have that game face on. They've had it all week. And they've been determined and very businesslike in practice. Matter of fact, Friday afternoon's practice was great. They looked like they were ready to play right then. And yesterday in our workout here at Memorial Stadium, they were a grim, determined-looking outfit. And, I'm sure we're going to get after Baltimore.
And how about this crowd? Is this the most rabid in the league?
Yeah, this is like playing in the phone booth, Sid. The first time I played back here was in the early 50s. They moved the franchise down from New York. I think it was New York Bulldogs, and they moved it to Baltimore. And after that, they moved it to Dallas. But I remember that first time we came in here, even then, there was only about 25,000 people here. And we beat them 70-14, something like that. And I thought they were going to lynch us before we got off the field.
Norm, hope those 60,000 are very unhappy after today's Viking Baltimore Colt game.
Me too. If we win, Sid, I'll be willing to fight them all the way to the dressing room.
Before the next Minnesota Vikings game, join Coach Norm Van Brocklin and Sid Hartman for an up-to-the-minute report on the Vikings. Brought to you by HA, Hair Arranger. Remember, the perfect way to start your day is with HA. Get HA, Hair Arranger, in bottle or tube today.
Let Marv Anderson build it for you. A picture book home that's charming and new. He'll build you a home, a real paradise. A picture book home at a practical price. So let Marv Anderson build it for you.
How do you measure your savings when you buy a new home? Here are some things to consider. Think of the wear and tear on your car and all that lost time and extra driving when you live way out in the sticks. Your savings show up for you after that first year of ownership, too, because Marv puts so much quality into the homes he builds. You'd almost think Marv was a philanthropist.
He'll build you a home, a real paradise, a picture book home at a practical price. So let Marv Anderson build it for you.
Currently in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, it's 43 degrees. We're expecting a high this afternoon of around 48. with a low tonight of 28 and then a high tomorrow of 45. Stay tuned, 830 for the names of Thanksgiving Turkey Sweepstakes winners. We're announcing names today from studios Minneapolis, St. Paul, WCCO. It's
Minnesota Vikings football is on the air. The exciting play-by-play action of Minnesota Vikings football is brought to you by your neighborhood Ford dealer, who invites you to test drive the 65 Ford of your choice over the roads of your choice during the roughest time of the year. Your Ford dealer has 44 models of the most exciting and inviting cars ever built. Try Total Performance 65, best year yet to buy from your Ford dealer. Test drive the newest Fords in 15 years. And by Minneapolis Federal, our state's greatest name in savings and home loans. Remember to make your best dividend yardage at the sign of the tree, Minneapolis Federal, where all savings earn the great dividend every 3 months. Now, with all the action and color of today's Minnesota Vikings football game, here is your play-by-play sportscaster, Ray Christensen.
Good afternoon. It's a beautiful, sunshiny afternoon at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. 67 degrees with a high near 70 predicted. The wind's not much of a factor. They'll be variable between 5 and 10 miles an hour during the game. Today, the Vikings take on the hottest team in the NFL, the Baltimore Colts, who have won 8 in a row since the Vikings upset them in the season's opener. The Colts are a 2-touchdown favorite. With the starting lineups, here is Paul Giel.
Thank you, Ray, and good afternoon. For the Baltimore Colts at left end, Willie Richardson, 6'2", 198 from Jackson State. At left tackle, Bob Vogel, 6'5", 250 from Ohio State. At left guard, another Ohio State alumni, Jim Parker, 6'3", 275. At center from Notre Dame, Dick Szymanski, 6'3", 235. At right guard, Alex Sandusky, 6'3", 242, Clarion. At right tackle, George Priest, 6'2", 250 from VPI. At right end, John Mackey, 6'2", 217, Syracuse. Johnny Unitas is the quarterback, 6'1", 194 from Louisville. Lenny Moore is the left halfback, 6'1", 190 from Penn State. Right halfback or flankerback, Jimmy Orr, 5'11", 175, the University of Georgia. At fullback, Tony Lorick, 6'1", 203, Arizona State. For the Minnesota Vikings, at left end, Jerry Reichow, 6'3", 220, Iowa. At left tackle, Grady Alderman, 6'2", 245, the University of Detroit. Milt Sunday from the University of Minnesota is playing left guard, 6'2", 222. At center, Mick Tingelhoff, 6'1", 235, Nebraska. At right guard from Purdue, Larry Bowie, 6'2", 240. At right tackle, Errol Linden, 6'5", 260, University of Houston. Hal Betzel from Southern Cal is playing right end or tight end. He's 6'5", 230. Fran Tarkenton is the quarterback, 6 feet tall, 190, Georgia. At left halfback, Tommy Mason, 6'1", 196, Tulane. Right halfback or flanker, Tommy Hall, 6'2", 195, University of Minnesota. And at fullback, Bill Brown, 220, 5'11 from Illinois.
Tell that the Colts are being introduced, and this is what it'll be like all afternoon. These fans, and it's another sellout, 6 in a row, really go all out for their team. Today's Minnesota Vikings game will be getting underway in 1 minute. The first half is presented by Minneapolis Federal, where thousands of savers enjoy the benefits of the great dividend. The growth of your savings dollar in a Minneapolis Federal account is, like Vikings football, an action, attraction.
Clouds touched with the gold of an Indian summer sunset. The smell of burning leaves, clear nights, and football. Everywhere, football. Contest of skill and strength. A panorama of action and color. Players keen in the spirit of competition. The coach pacing the sideline. Thrilling pass plays and rough and tumble maneuvering. Spectators juggling pennants, steaming coffee, and hot dogs. Football reigns. It's an exciting time of the year. Seeing your insured savings grow at Minneapolis Federal is exciting too. Score with generous dividends, compounded quarterly. For financial security, team up soon with Minneapolis Federal at the sign of the tree. A good tree to come to for shelter.
Will kick off. Minnesota with
just had the toss of the coin at the center of the field. The Vikings won the toss, electing to receive. The Colts defending the goal to our right. That's at the closed end of this stadium. If it were baseball time, it would be at the home plate end. So the Vikings receiving, defending the goal to our left. Here again is Paul Giel.
The Baltimore Colts, the home team, are all decked out in their white uniforms with blue numbers, white helmets with the horseshoe on the side of the helmet. The Minnesota Vikings have their white pants on with the maroon jersey and the white numbers. Baltimore, and you can feel it in the entire area, it's sort of electrifying. They're fired up for each and every ball game, but they say, despite having to play teams like the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, that they've been looking forward to this game with a great deal of relish. The Minnesota Vikings having knocked them off 34-24 in the season's opener at Metropolitan Stadium in the Twin Cities. The Colts are smarting. They played a fair to middling game by their standards, and they feel they've got a lot better in them than what they showed in the Twin Cities. So they're ready to go, and here's Ray Christensen with the opening kickoff.
Lou Michaels, left-footed kicker, will kick off. Coming forward, there's his boot, sailing very, very high. Billy Butler waiting for it, takes it on the 3. He's out to the 10, the 15, the 20, the 23, still standing. Down he goes at the 24-yard line. Billy with a good return. First man to hit him for Baltimore was Lou Kerouac. Joe Don Looney followed up. It'll be 1st and 10 Vikings. Call it the 25-yard line, a return of 22. The Vikings with the ball offensively, starting from their own 25-yard line. Rykow, Alderman, Sunday, Tingelhoff, Bowie, Linden, and Bedsole on the line. Tarkenton at quarterback. Hall, the flanker. Mason and Brown behind Tarkenton. Tommy Hall split to the right. Rykow to the left. Tarkenton under center. Goes back to pass. Now rolling out to the left. He's looking, sets, got time. He throws it, and it is batted away, and Rykow almost got it coming back upfield. He was hit at the 40-yard line, and the ball deflected back, and he came back and almost caught it at the 35. It is incomplete. Lyles with good coverage on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 to go.
This may be an indication, Fran Tarkenton rolling out to his left, that they want to keep these big defensive tackles and defensive ends of the Baltimore Colts running. Heretofore in some of the other ball games, they've kept the ends at home a little bit and put a lot of pressure on Fran up the middle. Then if Fran does scramble to his left or right, the ends are waiting. He, in that first game against Baltimore, Fran scrambled a lot and really had Bracey and Marchetti tired out.
Set to go. Strong left. Tarkenton gets the ball back in the pocket this time, setting, has some time, now starts to scramble. He's got a ways to go, the 25, the 30-yard line, pitches it over to Mason, comes forward to the 35-yard line. Bill Pellington gets him there, and he is battling, and down he goes at the 35-yard line. They were battling hand-to-hand. Mason was trying to stiff-arm Pellington, and Pellington was just trying to get a good grip to bring him down, and finally, a couple of teammates came up to help Bill out, but the Vikings have a first down. The ball got just far enough at the 35-yard line. A gain of 10, Tarkenton lateraling to Mason. 1st and 10 Vikings from the 35-yard line. Vikings back in the huddle. Taking a lot of time plotting this one. Clemson Tiger Band made the trip today to Baltimore. They're seated at the far side of the field, those bright red jackets shining beautifully. From the I formation, the Vikings shift and are ready. Tarkenton calling signals, strong left formation. Gives it off to Bill Brown, who slants for 5-yard lines, goes outside and forward for 2 more as he gets across the 40-yard line to the 41 or 42. Ball will be placed closer to the 41-yard line. A gain of 6, 2nd down coming and 4 to go. Lenny Lyles came up to make the stop. The Vikings from their own 41 have 1 first down or 2nd and 4. They break huddle and come out. A magnificent day to watch a football game. Set to go. This time strong right is the formation. Tarkenton counters to Bill Brown, who comes forward for 2. That's about all. Big pileup. Hard to tell where Bill wound up. It'll be close to the 44-yard line. And Bill still is waiting for people to get off him. The last one off is Marchetti. That's on the 44, a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and a yard to go for a first down. Actually about 2 feet, so the Vikings are close to it, and the fans at Baltimore are shouting, hold 'em. Vikings come out of the huddle. Tom Hall flanking wide to the right, Rykow out to the left. A couple of steps off to the right side is Bedsole making it a strong right formation. Tarkenton under center, gives it off to Bill Brown, who bangs straight ahead, and he appeared to be far enough ahead for the first down. The official at the side, the head linesman pointing that way. But until the Actual first down signal is given. We'll have to wait and see. It is a first down on the 45-yard line. 1st and 10. To understand the Baltimore fans, you have to realize that any decision that goes against their team is going to be booed. After that, just accept them as real staunch supporters of their team. It's 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Their own 45. Vikings with strong right formation. Tarkenton under center, back to pass, in the pocket, looking, fires a quick one out to Bill Brown, comes forward, the 45, the 50-yard line, spins and is still standing as it goes across the 45 for a first down. In Baltimore territory with 2 more yards necessary for the first down. Trailing him all the way, missing him once, and then catching up with him was Ordell Bracey of South Dakota. It'll be a first down for the Vikings, and wasn't that a great effort by Bill Brown?
Well, he always gives you that great effort. Incidentally, let me set that defensive team of the Baltimore Colts for you. At the ends, Gino Marchetti and Ordell Bracey. Tackles, Guy Reese and Fred Miller. Steve Stromebacker, Bill Pellington, and Don Chinnick are the linebackers. Bobby Boyd, Lenny Lyles, Jerry Logan, and Wendell Harris deep backs.
Strong right formation on 1st and 10 on the 43 of Baltimore. Vikings with the ball. Tarkenton rolling out to his right this time. Getting protection from Nick Tingelhoff. He fires a pass right into the hands of Logan at the 25, and Logan is tackled. He's still standing as he got away from Hal Bedsole, and then is knocked out of bounds by Bill Brown at the 37. Tarkenton's pass, and he did not appear to be rushed, was straight into the hands of Logan. Nobody else was close to it. He spun away from what appeared to be a tackle by Hal Bedsole at the 37, went toward the sidelines and was knocked out at that point by Bill Brown. It was a return of 2 yards on the interception, and Baltimore has the ball on its own 37-yard line. 1st and 10. Here come the Colts. Johnny Unitas, the quarterback. He's back to pass. He's looking, sets, throws it, and it is caught at the 47 of the Vikings by Jimmy Orr, and he takes it down to the 42-yard line before Vargo makes the tackle. Ball be placed on the 41. 22 yards, 1st and 10 on the Vikings' 41-yard line. And the Colts coming right at him.
On that pass play when Fran's pass was intercepted, Bill Pellington really went after Fran to try and block him, but it looked a little bit more than blocking, almost as if he was out to get him.
1st and 10 from the Vikings' 41. They shift into a normal formation from a wing right. The handoff to Lorick, the fullback. He blasts away after being hit after a 4-yard gain. He got off the hit by Prestel and went for 3 more before he was knocked down. Ball is placed on the 33-yard line, a gain of 8 by Tony Lorick. This rookie has played so well that even though Jerry Hill is no longer on the injured list, is completely recovered, he is not starting, and this Hill is a good fullback. But rookie Tony Lorick has taken over. Split out to the left is Willie Richardson. Raymond Berry is not likely to play today, although he is suited up. To the right, Jimmy Orr on 2nd and 2 from the 33 of the Vikings. Unitas under center. The Vikings appear ready to blitz. The handoff goes now to Lenny Moore to the outside. Goes to the 30 just about before George Rose drives him backward. Tackling him from behind was Carl Eller, who hit him first. Rose made sure that he didn't get to the 30-yard line. Ball is on the 31. It appears to be enough. It is for a first down. 1st and 10, Baltimore on the 31-yard line. Lenny Moore has gained enough yards to surpass the career total at Baltimore of Ellen the Horse Amici. 4,000 plus, I don't remember the exact figures. On the Vikings 31, Baltimore has the ball 1st and 10. After a pass interception by Logan, when the Vikings were moving the ball well, they had 3 straight first downs before that came along. Willie Richardson split wide to the left. Moore a slot back to the right, and he stays in that position. Unitas goes back to pass, sets, cuts it loose, and he almost intercepted. Schrockman had it at the 15, then could not hold it. That was a bullet, but it went past. Going out and hooking was Richardson, and the pass was to his right. Now, that might have been a spot pattern. It's hard to tell. In any event, it went right to the hands of a diving Ed Schrockman, and he had it and couldn't hold it. It was really thrown hard.
Exactly right, Ray. He had a lot of mustard on that particular pass play, and I think, too, that it was a spot pass, and it literally went by John Mackey and almost into the hands of Ed Schrockman.
Strong right formation. No slot back this time. Unitas gets the ball back in the pocket. Throws a quick one out, and dropping it is Lorick. The Vikings scrambled for it, but it appeared to be a forward rather than a lateral. Of course, you're not going to stop and ask the official whether it's a forward or a lateral. If there's any doubt, you'll go for the ball. But it was a forward, and as such, it is simply an incomplete pass. It was the quick little pass on the screen out to Lorick on the left side, and it went right out of his hands. The pass was thrown all right. It's 3rd down and 10 to go for Baltimore on the Vikings' 31-yard line. Baltimore, with 2 straight first downs, now has a 3rd down situation coming up. The Colts send Jimmy Orr out to the right. Strong right formation. Back to pass is Unitas. The rush is on, but he tries to get away and cannot. He's hauled down. Boy, he was really hauled down by John Campbell, who blitzed through, got behind him, and reached up and pulled him down by both shoulders. The ball will be back near the 40-yard line. Ball is placed on the 38-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down from the 38.
Real good blitz was put on the Baltimore Colts. Johnny Unitas calling the plays only had one backfield man back there to help protect, and the blitz, therefore, was very successful. They were able to get at Johnny Unitas.
Lou Michaels, who has kicked 14 out of 24 this year, will try from the 46. There's his kick. It is off to the side. It lands in the end zone. I don't think it would have been high enough even had it been accurate, but in any event, it was well off to the left. It'll be brought out to the 20 where the Vikings will take over. 1st down and 10 to go. There's a timeout on the field with the score. The Vikings nothing and Baltimore nothing. There's a new attraction in town. You heard the horn heralding it. It's a big star in a great show. It's the action attraction at Minneapolis Federal, and the star of the show is Minneapolis Federal's great dividend, the dividend that grows to $4.06 for every $100 you save for 12 months. This great dividend plays a leading role in getting you the things you want when you want them. It builds up your savings fast. A big savings reserve for your family is money where you want it, when you need it. Your passbook is your ticket to the best savings attraction around. Open your insured Minneapolis Federal savings account by mail or in person. Then plan to add to it each month and set the stage for a bright future and the things you want in the good life. Don't miss the celebrity that's got all of the advantages. Get in on the action attraction at the sign of the tree. Earn $4.06 for every $100 you save for 12 months at Minneapolis Federal. The Vikings start from their own 20-yard line, set to go, lining up strong left. Tarkenton under center, gives it off to Tommy Mason on a left sweep. He has blocking. Sunday takes a man to the sidelines, and Mason goes out short of the 30, but for a pretty good gain. He was pushed out of bounds by Lyles. It'll be up the 28-yard line. Gain of 8, 2nd down and 2 to go. Tommy Mason on a sweep, got near the sideline. Milt Sunday then drove a would-be tackler to the sideline, and Mason cut inside him and picked up an extra 5 yards with that block by Milt Sunday. 2nd and 2, the Vikings from their own 28. They were moving the ball well. 3 straight first downs before a pass interception started the Colts going, and they too moved it well before they tried the field goal. Strong left the formation. The give to Bill Brown. Tries to drive, still standing, and gets across the 30-yard line. As he was really hauled down, Bill Pellington makes no doubt about it when he makes a tackle. He just as soon send the guy to the hospital, too. The ball on the 31, it's a gain of 3 as Brown's extra effort puts it out there. 1st and 10. From the 31-yard line, the Vikings set to go on the near sideline. They are going toward the goal to our right. Ray Christensen and Paul Giel at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Strong left the formation. Reichow to the left, Hall to the right. Bedsole split a little bit to the left. Back to pass. In the pocket is Tarkenton, and he's way back looking. Now fires his pass up the middle. Mason to the 32-yard line, out to the 35. Beautiful stepping out to the 40-yard line and down at the 41-yard line by Shinnick. Fine run by Mason. Stonebreaker also helped on the tackle. And now the officials have called a timeout on the field with the Vikings on the 41-yard line. There will be a measurement. 10-yard gain on the pass, give or take an inch or two, and we'll see which way that inch or two goes now. It's a 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Vikings from the 41-yard line. You'll hear a bugle blaring every once in a while. It's in the booth to our right, and it's a newspaper man who likes to blow the bugle. Don't ask me why, just remember that the term fan started out with fanatic. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. That's the 5th first down for the Vikings. Baltimore has 2. Strong right the formation. Tarkenton under center. Surveying the defense, gives it off. Up the middle goes Bill Brown. Didn't get too much. Possibly 3 yards. You never can tell when the pile is that big. You have to wait. The ball is being held high by the official at the 43, which would be a gain of 2. 2-yard gain. 2nd down, 8 to go by Bill Brown.
So often you wonder why professional football players fumble. Well, I'll tell you this, that each and every time a fellow gets tackled, there's always somebody diving in, piling on, who's scratching for that ball, and oftentimes it's after a fellow is on his way down that somebody shakes the ball loose from him.
Strong right formation on 2nd down and 8. Vikings on their own 43, no score. Tarkenton goes back to pass. He's looking, the rush is on. He throws it in a hurry to Bill Brown, who gets away from one man and is tripped up by a second at the 41. It was a good play by Shinnick, who really spoiled that one. Brown on a completed pass loses 2 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 for the Vikings from their own 41-yard line. Good, tough play by both teams today. Baltimore all in white with blue numerals and trim. The Vikings with the purple jerseys, the white pants. 3rd down and 10 to go, and the Vikings now have the crowd roaring for the home team, of course, saying, stop them so we can get the ball. Hall coming way wide to the near sideline as a flanker. Strong right the formation. Tarkenton back in the pocket. He's looking, has time. Now the rush is on, and he fumbles the ball. Linden picks it up at the 31 and runs it out to the 33. Shinnick came through to make the tackle and sprung the ball loose, but the Vikings keep it, and they'll have 4th down and long yardage. Incidentally, Paul, the Colts make a habit of recovering opponents' fumbles. That's the 16th fumble by an opponent this year, and that's only the 3rd time that opponent has recovered the ball.
They've been aggressive. I think they've held their opponents to 153 points this year, while they've scored well over 300. So they're aggressive, and they're right on the spot.
Bobby Walden back to punt. Standing on his 20, gets the snap, has lots of time, and gets a beautiful kick. It's up above the level of the second tier here. Waiting for it and taking it on the 13-yard line is Wendell Harris. He comes out across the 20 to the 26-yard line before he is hit and dropped by Dave O'Brien. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. That was a punt of 54 yards from the line of scrimmage. Good return by Harris. It's 1st and 10 for Baltimore. I don't know when I've seen a higher punt. How about you, Paul?
Walden's got a very good leg. That's why he's leading the league with 47.5.
The give to Lorick, who fights hard and gets out to near the 30-yard line. He was hit by Rip Hawkins, and Rip never completely lost control of him, but he was still driving hard. But Hawkins hung onto the jersey and set him up for 2 more teammates. The ball is placed right at the 30-yard line, a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6 to go. Tony Lorick, he starts fast, and he can go fast, too. One of the most promising rookies in the year. 2nd and 6, no score in our game. Just under 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Baltimore on its own 30-yard line. Strong right formation. Unitas is back to pass. Starting, moves back to his 15-yard line. The rush is on. He throws it very short. Incomplete. Great rush by Jim Marshall and Carl Eller, both of them protesting it should be downing the ball. And believe me, he wasn't trying too hard to complete it, but he came close enough to a receiver, so I'm not going to argue the point. It is an incomplete pass. 3rd down and 6 to go.
The would-be receiver was Tony Lorick, who was very much in the process of trying to block somebody.
Earlier, Lorick was set up as a receiver, but Big Jim Marshall raised his arms high as he came in on the side that the pass was to be thrown, and Unitas, unable to see his target because of Big Jim, had to hang on to it and move farther back. And he was back to his 10 when he cut it loose in a hurry. 3rd down, 6 to go. Unitas with a strong right formation. Back in the pocket, he's looking, setting, he's got time. Now he starts to run that ball. The rush is on, and Campbell deflects it off to the side. John Campbell leaped into the air and deflected it off to the 35-yard line. It was intended upfield for John Mackey, but that was another 10 yards upfield because Campbell's deflection shot it off to the side, and it'll bring up 4th down and 6 to go. First pass thrown by Unitas was complete. He has missed on the next 4. Joe Don Looney standing on the 16-yard line. Gets the snap. There's his boot. Mason and Butler are back. Mason signals a fair catch as it's a short one, and Tommy makes the grab at the 35 of the Vikings, and Billy goes over to try to make a block. Banged into Big Butch Wilson, and Billy bounced off it. Wilson remains standing. It'll be 1st and 10 Vikings from their own 35-yard line. So the Vikings gaining a little bit of ground there on the exchange of punts. Start from their 35-yard line. That punt was 35 yards with no return on the fair catch. Set to go are the Vikes. The split men just split a little on this play at strong left. Tarkenton under center. No score in our game near the end of the first quarter. Fran gives it off to Bill Brown, and he suddenly squirts through after being stopped for a 1-yard gain. He burst through to the 42 for a total of 7. It appeared that Bill Brown would go nowhere. He had about a yard, maybe 2, and then all of a sudden, something gave way, and it was Brown who thrust his way right through, and the ball is closer to the 43, an 8-yard gain, second and a long 2.
Bill's a tough fullback to defense because he can not only hit up the middle on you, but he'll start up the middle and catch you pinching a little bit. Then he'll slide or veer to the outside with real good speed. You have to respect his outside ability.
Strong right to formation. Tarkenton gives it off to Bill Brown, who gets into the open again. He's out almost to the 50-yard line for a first down. Bill Brown carrying, got almost to the 50 for a first down. Again, he appeared only to have a 2-yard gain, and once again slipped off a tackle and went right on out. The ball almost to the 50, 7-yard gain, 1st and 10. Vikings have 6 first downs compared with 2 for Baltimore. The Vikings have moved the ball a little the better of the two teams. Their first drive was stopped by a pass interception. The next one they had to punt. Now they've got a first down to work on in this sequence. Set to go are the Vikings on a strong right formation. They have not split their men out so much on this sequence. The give to Mason, slashing right, has 5 yards as he goes out across the 45-yard line for what probably will be a 6-yard gain. Steve Stonebreaker made the tackle, ball closer to the 45. Call it a 5-yard gain. It'll be second down and a short 5 to go for a first down.
Palmer Pyle is in the ball game now, replacing Larry Bowie. Bowie is having some equipment adjusted on the far sideline.
And I imagine Palmer is pretty happy to get in there against his former teammates.
He was involved in the trade that brought Stonebreaker from the Vikings to Baltimore, and Palmer coming to the Vikings.
Second down, 5 to go on the Baltimore 45. Vikings in possession. No score near the end of the first quarter. There's a pitch out to Bill Brown, sweeping left, gets a block from Mason, goes for 5, and for close to 5 more as he went inside the 40, almost to the 35. It'll be another first down. Clock shows just over a minute left in the first quarter. The ball will be placed at the 36, a gain of 9 as Bill Brown is racking up the yardage, both on running and on pass receiving.
Ray, didn't Brown have something like 103 yards against Baltimore in that opener? And I think Tommy Mason 137. They had a pretty good day.
They both made the Century Club on that one. 50 seconds left in the quarter. Vikings on the move are 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Strong right to formation. Tarkenton gives it off to Mason, sweeping wide, trying to get that block. He's got trouble, and he is fighting but can't get across the 35-yard line. He'll have about a 1-yard gain as Steve Stonebreaker got him by the jersey, hand-fought his way to get to Mason. Good play by Stoney. 1-yard gain by Mason. 2nd and 9 to go on the 35-yard line. 26 seconds left. Vikings back in the huddle. Clock ticking away. Unless a play that stops the clock takes place, well, this could be the last play of the quarter. 10 seconds left as the Vikings line up over the ball. Strong right to formation. Tarkenton set. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. That is the end of the first quarter. The end of the first quarter with the score. The Minnesota Vikings nothing, the Baltimore Colts nothing.
Baltimore nothing, Minnesota nothing. Minnesota's grain elevators, prairie cathedrals, spread their shadow across the landscape. Great gray giants protecting the secret of our prosperity, standing sentinel over the harvest, giving a golden stream of wheat to appease the appetite of the flour mills. Cropland skyscrapers, outward architecture of inner strength, reassuring to see towering against the horizon. Another silhouette stands outlined there, the good tree of Minneapolis Federal. Since 1891, this landmark of security has risen over the financial landscape, guiding the way to the good life through saving. Secure your future here at the sign of the tree. Minneapolis Federal, always a good tree to come to for shelter.
Minneapolis Federal brings you the complete Vikings schedule on WCCO Radio, always direct from the scene of action. Next week, the Lions from Detroit. Here are some scores. In the first quarter, New York leads St. Louis 7-0. In the first quarter, Washington 13, Pittsburgh nothing. In the second quarter, Detroit 14, Cleveland 10. There are a couple of games on the coast that will not even be underway while our game is being played. Vikings set to go from the 35-yard line. Second down and 9 to go. No score. Our second quarter ready to get underway. Tarkenton gives it on the draw to Bill Brown. Trying to go outside. Goes to the 20, 35 to the 30, to the 25-yard line, to the 20. Slips away. Still standing at the 15 and all the way down to the 12-yard line. What a tremendous run. He was tripped up by Lenny Lyles. That was the only thing that kept him from going all the way. A 23-yard run by Bill Brown and a beauty, and the Vikings have first down, 10 to go on the 12-yard line. Bill Brown having an unbelievably good day so far.
Carrier challenged a couple of defensive backs and said, I'm going to run right over you. Take your chances, see if you can knock me down. That's what Bill Brown said. He knocked him down and went for additional yardage.
The Vikings set to go with strong left. Tarkenton under center on the 12, gives it off. Tommy Mason goes across the 10 down to the 7, a gain of 5. It'll bring up second down and 5 to go. Let's take 10 seconds. This is where you hear the play-by-play broadcasts of the Minnesota Vikings.
It's 43 degrees in the Twin Cities. The winds are from the northwest at 14. From studios Minneapolis, St. Paul at 830 WCCO.
Second down on the 7-yard line, 5 to go for a first down. Mason picking up 5 yards as the Vikings are really going to town. And there are two backs, Brown and Mason. We mentioned how well they did the first time against Baltimore. They're looking great so far today. On the 7, Tarkenton under center. Strong right is formation. The give to Mason, sweeping wide. He is trapped and cannot get away back at the 12-yard line. He lost the 5 he gained earlier. Mason on a sweep, never even got close to turning upfield. Logan the first man through, but he had lots of help. Bob Boyd hit him midships there too. Gain of 5, a loss of 5. Brings up third down and 10 to go from the 12-yard line. And now Fred Cox moves over to the sideline at the far side to be ready in case the Vikings don't get that first down or touchdown on this play. Third down on the 12-yard line. 10 to go for a first down. Hall flanked right. To the left, Rykow. Strong left formation. Strong right, rather. Tarkenton. Back to pass. Setting in the pocket. He cuts it loose for the end zone. It's caught on the goal line by Hell Betzell for a touchdown. Betzell, who was pinched in on the play. There was a penalty flag down, and it's against the Vikings, apparently. One official did signal touchdown, which is why we passed it on to you, but it's a 15-yard penalty against the Vikings. Holding takes it out to the 35. It took place at the 20, so that actually was 23 yards from the line of scrimmage. A 23-yard penalty rules out the touchdown. It was a beautiful grab by Betzell, and it was thrown pinpoint as Betzell was pinched by two men. Wendell Harris was pretty unhappy about not stopping that play, but a penalty did. And now the Vikings, back from the 35-yard line, have third down and 33 to go for a first down. Strong left, back to pass is Tarkenton. He's set. Now he starts, the scramble starts forward, and he is ridden to earth at the 38-yard line. Fred Miller got him, and there is a flag on the play as again the Colts got a little rough. And it'll be a penalty against the Colts. We had the glasses on the play, and Fred Miller, after tackling Tarkenton, picked him up and threw him down again. And this is frowned upon, even in this rough world of professional football. The ball goes down to the 24-yard line, and that is a first down. It is a first down on the 24-yard line. So the Vikings had a first down on the 12. They're now on the 24, but they have a first down again because of the penalty. They're first and 10 from the 25-yard line as they got their break right back, even though they didn't get the touchdown. Both sides charged offside. We'll see who started it. It would appear it started with the Vikings on the right side of the line, and that's the direction the penalty will be walked. 5 yards, takes it out to the 29-yard line. Illegal procedure. The Vikings making the motion that drew the left side of the Colts line offside. So it'll be first down and 15 to go. And after going for the first quarter without a penalty, we're making up for it in the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds of the second quarter. First and 15, the Vikings from the 29-yard line. Strong right formation. Tarkenton calling signals. Gives it off to Bill Brown, flashes left, goes for 5, for 10, and finally an ankle tackle by Lenny Lyles, who had him up around the shoulders, then around the waist, but hung on when he got to the ankle, and the ball will be placed on the 18-yard line. It was a gain of 11. It was first and 15, so now it's second down and 4 to go. On the 18-yard line, Bill Brown really racking up the yardage. At this rate, Paul, he'll have his 100 yards in the first half.
He had a lot of help on that particular play from Grady Alderman, the old pro at left tackle. He played in the Pro Bowl game last year. Grady never gets a lot of publicity, but he's always right there doing an outstanding job.
Second down 4. Strong left formation. Tarkenton back to pass, looking, cuts it loose, and he dropped it. He was all alone at the 10. The pass was perfectly thrown. I think Tom saw visions of a touchdown and was starting to run before he really had a grip on the ball. Incomplete. It'll be third and 4 from the 18. Tarkenton right now is 3 for 6 on passes.
Tommy Hall doesn't drop the ball very often. He has exceptionally fine hands. If the ball's anywhere close, 9 times out of 10 or better than that, if it can be so, he comes up with the ball.
He saw Jerry Logan coming up and I think wanted to get that extra step on Jerry and head for the goal line. Third down, a long 4 to go on the 18-yard line. Strong left formation, Tarkenton under center. No score in our game, early second quarter. It's a long call with audibles now by Tarkenton. He's back to pass, cuts it loose, and it is intercepted on a diving interception on the 8-yard line. That was Bob Boyd. It was intended for Hall, same play, but Boyd grabbed it at first and hung onto it as he was down by Hall on the 8-yard line. So the second pass interception of the day. This one by Boyd, and Baltimore takes over, and there's still no score in our game.
Beautiful interception. Fran Tarkenton really cut loose on that look-in pass intended for Tommy Hall. He had a lot of mustard on the ball. It got there in a hurry, and it's amazing the way Boyd came up with that ball.
Slot back left for Baltimore. Unitas the quarterback. And somebody moved a little early there. I don't know if it was legal or not. It's Lenny Moore, and the Vikings moved on him and dropped him back at the 5-yard line. That was Paul Dixon, who came around for a great stop. The ball will be placed closer to the 4. It'll be second and 14.
This is where you have to watch Johnny Unitas with that great arm of his, and Jimmy Orr, their tremendous flanker who can run like a deer. George Rose has been on him all afternoon so far. Sometimes Unitas likes to uncrank and throw that long ball, feeling that if it is intercepted far downfield, it's just as good as a punt. So this sort of a situation, second and 15, you never can tell. Unitas just might uncrank.
Second down coming. 14 to go from the 4-yard line. Unitas under center. Goes back into the end zone looking for receivers. Setting. He throws it upfield, and it is caught on the 25 on the 26-yard line. Complete to Red Mackey. Tackled immediately by Rose on the 26, and just like that, they're out of trouble. 22-yard gain in all. First and 10 from the 26-yard line. Mackey went to the sidelines, then cut back across and grabbed the ball inside Rose, who made the tackle. Baltimore from its own 26-yard line. Flanker right, that's all. The pitch out. Swinging wide is Giel. He goes across the 30, maybe by a yard to spare. A gain of 4 or 5, depending on where the ball is placed. Leading the way ahead of him was Bob Vogel. John Campbell led Schrockman on the stop on the 31, second down and 5 to go after a gain of 5.
On that pass to Mackey, Mackey is so big, around 6'4", 217 pounds. He literally just screened out George Rose, who was right behind him, right on him. But when the ball was thrown perfectly by Unitas, Rose couldn't get in front of the big guy to knock it down.
Slot back to the left is Lenny Moore with only Hill behind the fullback. Hill gets that ball, has a little bit of a hole. He bumps head on into Jobco, slides off that, and gets an extra yard or 2 with Carl Eller, the principal tackler. The ball will be out close to the 35-yard line. That's where it is. A 4-yard gain. Third down and 1 yard to go. 3rd and 1. A long one, incidentally. 9 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the second quarter. No score. The Vikings have moved the ball well. They have 9 first downs already, but 2 pass interceptions have stopped them. Baltimore has gotten close enough to try a field goal from way out, which was not good. Flankers both way on a strong right formation. The give now to Hill, who goes for the first down. getting a quick hole and using it for a 3, maybe just a 2-yard gain. Enough in any case out to the 37. 2 yards, first down. Baltimore with its second first down of this quarter. Its previous drive, it had 2 first downs and then wound up trying the field goal. First and 10 for the Colts from their own 37-yard line. Both teams playing good, solid football. And both offenses showing moments of moving, but no points on the scoreboard as yet. Jimmy Orr flanked to the right, Willie Richardson to the left. He's Raymond Berry's replacement. Strong right to formation. Berry not likely to play today. Back to pass is Unitas standing on his 30, and the rush is on. He gets it away just in time and overshoots everybody. Orr almost had it, but John Campbell almost had a finger on it too, 5 yards ahead of Orr. Unitas got plenty of rush that time, but he still got the pass away. It'll be 2nd and 10, Baltimore from its own 37.
Jimmy Orr, from his flanker position, likes to come downfield at about half speed, almost as if he's out of the play, and then all of a sudden he'll turn it on with that blinding speed of his right over the middle of the field. On that particular play, Johnny Campbell, playing in place of the injured Bill Jopko, dropping back on pass protection, was in the right area to get up a hand and deflect it.
Strong right formation. Unitas with a long call, gives it on the draw play. Coming straight forward is Lenny Moore. Goes across the 40 to the 44-yard line, where it'll bring up 3rd and 3. Tackle was made by Vargo, who came all the way up. Vargo's job, of course, is to play that ball, and he came up to do it from his deep spot. To the 44, a gain of 7 for Lenny Moore. 3rd down coming. 3 to go for a first down.
Lenny Moore, since 1956, has rushed for a total of 4,211 yards. This is better than the mark set by Alan Amici, 4,045 yards.
Orr flanked right. To the left, Richardson. Mackey, the tight end, on the right side on 3rd down. Back to pass. Unitas cuts it loose, and it's complete as Marshall reached up and couldn't get it. Hawkins gets the man, can't hold him at the 50, and Hill goes 2 more into Viking territory for a first down. A gain of 7 yards on the play to the Vikings' 49-yard line. The quick swing pass to the left to Hill, and a first down for Baltimore. Thus far, 3 for 8 for John Unitas. And the Colts have put together 3 straight first downs, their best succession thus far, and they are just into Viking territory by a yard. Richardson coming out wide to the left or to the right, strong right formation. Vikings lining up ready to blitz. Unitas getting the blitz, is on they come, and Winston missed him. He ducked inside it, starts forward. There is a flag on the play as Unitas goes down to the 42-yard line for a gain of 7. There was a flag on the play, and the officials are pointing in all directions, and that's not easy. It's a penalty against Baltimore, and it'll be a long one. It took place on the Baltimore 45, and it'll move it back to the 30-yard line of the Colts. So that actually is a 21-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage.
We mentioned this in other broadcasts. So often an offensive ball player gets those hands out in front of him, and if an official catches it, in other words, he's almost grabbing you. You're taught by your coaches to keep those arms in real tight.
There's a timeout on the field with the score. The Vikings nothing, the Colts nothing. Who can take a trip to Hawaii? You can. Who can pay cash for a new car? You can. Who can retire without any money worries? You can. You can do all of these things because you have a savings account at Minneapolis Federal. Your savings account at the sign of the tree is an action account. It allows you to buy what you want when you want it. You have money where you want it when you need it. This is what we mean by an action account. With it, you can do all the things you like without having to wait or borrow or get along without. The generator behind all this action is Minneapolis Federal's Great Dividend. You earn $4.06 for every $100 you save for 12 months. Who can earn the Great Dividend? You can, by opening your action account now, in person or by mail. Save at the sign of the tree. Minneapolis Federal, with offices in downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul, and offices opening soon in Golden Valley and in Bloomington. The ball on the 29-yard line. The Colts have 2nd down, 21 to go for a first down. They started from the 49 of the Vikings. or 29 to go, rather. Back to pass. It's cut loose to Orr, and Rose comes up and socks him. It's only a short gain. He got to the 35, a 6-yard gain on the play. It'll bring up second down, and now 29 to go. Play started from the Vikings' 49. Out to the 35. Pass completion, but for short yardage, and the Vikings willing to give that much with first down and long yardage being the situation. Baltimore on its own 35-yard line. Has to get to the Vikings' 39. Unitas with wing right. That's Moore in the slot. Slot back to the right. Back to pass. Looking. Sets. Throws it, and it is batted away by Schrockman as he really went up in front of Willie Richardson. Richardson, the taller by 3 inches, and Ed Schrockman sailed up and knocked it away hard. He realized he couldn't intercept it at that height and that Richardson was tall enough to catch it at that height, so he really gave the ball a sock. And it is incomplete. Third down coming from the Colts, from their own 35-yard line. 26 to go for a first down. Just under 6 minutes left in the second quarter, no score. New York leads St. Louis 7-3 in the second quarter. Washington now leads Pittsburgh 20-0 in the second quarter. Detroit still leads Cleveland 14-10 in the second quarter. The Colts on third down and long yardage. Quick snap and the handoff on the draw to Lenny Moore, and he was tripped up by Jim Prestel, who finally could not hold him, but by that time Hawkins came up and did hold him. It's a loss of 1 or 2, 1 yard, back to the 34. A great play by Prestel on the draw. If that man once gets going upfield, why, he can really outmaneuver you. Fourth down in a punt situation. They get their punter in there in a hurry. Joe Don Looney boots it from the 23. High kick coming upfield. Mason waiting, takes it on his 29-yard line. Tries to get away his way back to his 21-yard line and is knocked down on the 23. Billy Butler tried his best but could not take Neil Petties out of the play, and Petties made the stop. Ball put on the 24, first and 10 for the Vikings from their own 24-yard line. So now the Vikings will start upfield. They're playing in the shade right now from the stands, but it won't be too much before they get into the sunshine. And they hope to get a long way into the sunshine. Right now, no score in our game with 5:14 to play. Second quarter. Strong left formation, Parkinson under center. Is back to pass, looking. He has to eat the ball at the 18-yard line. He could not find a receiver clear. He looked like he wanted to hit Hall, but Boyd was staying right on him. Fred Miller was the primary tackler on the play. The ball on the 18, a loss of 6 yards. Second down. 16 to go. That's one of the few times that Baltimore has been able to put on so much pressure that they could get to Tarkenton almost immediately. The Vikings bring Pyle into the lineup for Sunday. Second down. 16 to go. Just under 5 minutes to play second quarter. Jerry Rykow wide to the left. Strong right to formation with Hall split right. Tarkenton gives it off to Mason, sweeping wide with Pyle in front of him to the 20, the 25-yard line, the 30-yard line, the 35-yard line, and down on the 37-yard line. He will have a first down. Tommy Mason running beautifully, and Palmer Pyle leading the way. Ball placed on the 37. That was a gain of 19 yards. So after second down and long yardage, the Vikings got their first down on the very next play. That is the 10th first down for the Vikings. Baltimore thus far has 5. And Pyle goes off the field. His job for the moment is done. Sunday comes back in. So at the moment, it would appear that Van Brocklin is shuttling his guards in and out with plays, something he has not done too often. Strong right to formation. Tarkenton calling signals. Gives it on the draw to Bill Brown, trying to go outside. It's pretty crowded, and Bill just barely gets to the line of scrimmage, and maybe not even that. He had no chance on that. Bill Pellington hit him, then Bracey, then Billy Ray Smith. A loss of 1 to the 36. It'll be second down and 11 to go.
They haven't been able to spring Tommy Mason around the end too much in recent ball games due to the fact that everybody's keying off Tommy. The minute he runs wide, everybody in their on comes up. If Tommy could throw that ball, even lob it a little bit, it would certainly help.
Second down, 11 to go. Strong left formation. Tarkenton from his own 36 is back to pass. Throws the quick one out, and Bill Brown couldn't hold it. Incomplete. The Colts came up to fall on it in case it was a lateral, but it was not. And it'll be third down and 11 to go. Bill apparently was pretty confident it was not a lateral. He didn't go after the ball at all. Third down, long yardage for the Vikings on their own 36-yard line. No score in our game. 3:19 to go in the second quarter.
What happens so often is a receiver, particularly on a screen-type pattern where some linemen are lined up in front of you to help you downfield, you start taking a glance at their position to know where you're going to run the minute you get the ball. You're so confident of catching it. Then you drop it.
Strong right formation, 3rd and 11. Back to pass is Tarkenton. Has some protection. The rush is on. He starts to scramble, comes out to the 35-yard line, trying to get to the 40, now to the 45, going down the sideline, the 50-yard line, the 45, the 40-yard line. From a jersey pulled from behind, he's down at the 33. What a run by Tarkenton, and it was Stonebreaker who caught up with him. And Stoney said something to Fran, probably, "How are you, Francis?" It's been a long time.
I think he said, "Don't I know you from somewhere?" Same old Tarkenton.
Boy, he really turned it on. That's as fast as I've seen him go, because I didn't think he was going to get that far with no place to go except sideline running, Paul.
I thought he was going to step out of bounds very smartly, but Fran decided in a ball game like this, it means so much right now. Let's turn it on, try to get some tallies on the board before the end of the first half.
He turned it on for 31 yards, 1st and 10 on the 33 of Baltimore. The gift to Bill Brown, who bangs ahead for 2 yards to the 31. And when I mean bangs ahead, that's literally a pun, I guess, because he's really meeting head-to-head with some of those linemen. 2nd down, 8 to go. Vikings on the 31 of Baltimore. 2:50 left to play. We're in the second quarter of a scoreless game.
This is one of the roughest games I've seen all year. There's no scores on the board, but tomorrow there are going to be some aches and pains, and the Whirlpool is going to get a workout.
Lots of sores, but no scores so far, huh? Right to the right is Tom Hall. And believe me, these pros really have the bumps and bruises that day after, sometimes for several days. Strong right to formation. Tarkenton, 2nd and 8. Back to pass after a fake to Mason. Lobs it down there. He's aiming it at Reichow, and it is incomplete. Staying with him all the way was Lenny Lyles, and the pass was quite a bit past them. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down, 8 to go from the 31-yard line. The clock is stopped with 2:20 left to play. Second quarter, scoreless game. In comes Palmer Pyle, and shortly Milt Sunday will go on out. Pyle with a play from the bench. Van Brocklin doing it more so than in any game that I can remember this year. Van Brocklin prefers not to call plays from the sidelines, but if he thinks he sees situations where it's needed, he will. Strong right to formation, 3rd and 8. Rolling out to his right is Tarkenton. He's looking. He's setting. He wants to throw. He throws it out there, and it's incomplete. He had 2 Vikings there, but he overshot them. Mason and Bedsoe were just a yard apart at the 17. Incomplete, and well covered, too, I might add. It'll bring up 4th down, as Tarkenton has not been able to complete a pass in this quarter. Now there is a timeout on the field with the score. The Minnesota Vikings, 0. The Baltimore Colts, 0.
Giant presses strain, meeting our quest for information. Broadcast, sight and sound instantaneously link us to history in the making. With the flick of a dial or the turn of a page, Minnesotans receive the world. Our state's impressive network of mass communications relays the pulse of changing times, informing, revealing, selling, entertaining. Each has its place in helping to shape the future. 2 decades before the broadcast voice was heard in Minnesota, Minneapolis Federal was helping to shape financial futures. Then, as now, people came to the sign of the good tree. Here they found security and independence. Come to Minneapolis Federal. Save for the good things of the good life.
Following this timeout, Fred Cox apparently will attempt a field goal. The ball will be spotted the 39 or 40-yard line. Tarkenton kneeling right now at about the 39.5. 2 minutes to play in the second quarter. There is no score. And Baltimore massing a 9-man front to try to block it. Waiting for the snap. Engelhoff ready. Back it comes. The ball is placed and the kick is in the air. It is long enough. It hit the upright and went off to the right. It hit the upright and went off to the right. It was that close. Fred Cox, just a fraction to the right too much. It hit the bar and went off to the right, and will be brought out to the 20-yard line. He was about halfway up the bar. There was no question about distance or height, but it was just that much off. And with 1:55, Baltimore takes over from its 20-yard line. Now, this is a situation in which Johnny Unitas is second to none, using that 2 minutes very, very sparingly. He's under center. Back to pass. Throws a quick one out to Giel at the 20. Goes out to the 25, the 30-yard line, and there, Ed Brocklin drives him out of bounds at the 35. Ed set himself and really blasted Giel, who was coming full speed up the sideline. Gain of 15. The clock is stopped. That only took 8 seconds. A perfect example of what we mean by using that time sparingly.
He's so smart about it, too, because he knows he's got a couple of great ends going downfield, like Jimmy Orr at flanker, John Mackey, and Lenny Moore. He'll sneak him out. Willie Richardson. You have to respect these fellows deep late in a ball game. Unitas might throw to them. He's got the arm. Then he'll throw the little swing patterns and drive you crazy.
Strong left his pattern. He's back, setting, looking. The rush is on. Now he starts to run. He throws his pass just in time, and it is locked into the air, and the Vikings bump into each other, and it falls back into the hands of Baltimore, complete. Brocklin and Kasulki collided, and it fell back into the hands of Willie Richardson for a completed pass to the 49-yard line. A real break for Baltimore, and almost an interception. First down for the Colts on the Vikings' 49-yard line. The officials, because of the tumult, call time here, and now there is an official timeout for Baltimore. Timeout on the field with the score, the Vikings nothing and the Colts nothing. There's a new attraction in town, a big star in a great show. It's the action attraction at Minneapolis Federal, and the star of the show is Minneapolis Federal's great dividend. The dividend that grows to $4.06 for every $100 you save for 12 months. This great dividend plays a leading role in getting you the things you want when you want them. It builds up your savings fast. A big savings reserve for your family is money where you want it, when you need it. Your passbook is your ticket to the best savings attraction around. Open your insured Minneapolis Federal Savings account by mail or in person. Then plan to add to it each month and set the stage for a bright future and the things you want in the good life. Don't miss the celebrity that's got all of the advantages. Get in on the action attraction at the sign of the tree. Earn $4.06 for every $100 you save for 12 months at Minneapolis Federal. A break for Baltimore as Kasulki and Hartman battling that ball, deflected it into the air. Both of them dove for it, knocked into each other in trying to get at it. Otherwise, one of them would have been able to intercept it, and it fell into the arms of Richardson, lying flat on his back. 16 yards, first down on the Vikings 49. Back to pass is Unitas. He's looking, has lots of time, fires it downfield, intended for Orr, and it's almost intercepted by George Rose. He wound up holding hands with Jimmy Orr, but it wasn't out of mutual likeness or anything. They were both going for it, and when they came down, they were gripping each other. Incomplete pass, and believe me, Rose covered that one completely. 1:27 to play.
George Rose from Auburn, he's becoming one of the finest defensive backs in the NFL, only as a rookie, too. He took his lickings early in the year, and he's going to get licked from time to time as the season goes on and continues and in years to come, but not too often. He's a good one.
May we add that all of these defensive backs are going to get licked from time to time. It's inevitable with the men coming downfield at them. 2nd and 10 from the 49. Back to pass is Unitas setting. Now starts to run, and Carl Eller nails him on the 47. The ball springs loose. The Vikings recover. Now, it may have been blown dead. I believe it was. Eller recovered on the 45, but the official ruled that the ball had been blown dead at the 46 or 7-yard line. The Vikings unhappy with that call, too. It was one of those judgment calls that could go either way. In this case, it went for Baltimore. No fumble officially. There was a loss of 4 back to the Baltimore 47, where it's 3rd and 14.
Both teams are really fired up. Jim Marshall was extremely disappointed that Carl Eller wasn't awarded the ball, and of course the Vikings.
Unitas back to pass as he's wasting no time. Throws the quick pass, and it's dropped by Giel, picked up on the run by Winston, and he in turn was tackled after the ball had been blown dead. He was down to the 30-yard line when he was tackled. Neither team taking any chance just in case that ball is live. It wasn't. It was ruled, and correctly so, a forward. So that'll bring up 4th down, and still 14 to go for a first down. The ball is on the 47-yard line of Baltimore, and it'll be a punt. Looney is in to punt. We have 1 minute, 2 seconds to go, and I cannot tell you how proud I am of this Viking team, the way it's battling today. And if you're a Baltimore fan, you too can be proud. The snapback, Lots of time. He gets a high kick away, his highest yet. Billy Butler takes it on the 10-yard line, starts up, is hit, goes to the 13, and is really submerged by 3 men. But he hangs onto the ball. 55 seconds to play. The Vikings will have the ball, 1st and 10, from the 12-yard line. That's where it's spotted. 1st down, 10 to go from their own 12-yard line. So far, Unitas has thrown 14 passes, completed 6. Tarkenton has thrown 10, completed 3, and had 2 intercepted. That's the kind of job both defensives have done. 44 seconds to go. The Vikings with strong right formation. Tarkenton dropping back to pass. Setting. He starts to run, bumps into his own man, and is dropped at his 5-yard line. The ball placed at the 6-yard line. A loss of 6. 2nd down. The clock on the move again shows 30 seconds to go. 16 seconds are on the 6-yard line, 2nd down, and 16 to go. 30 seconds to play right now. Sunday goes out. Pyle comes in with a play from the bench, but the clock is still moving. 26 seconds, 25. Here come the Vikings out of the huddle. They line up strong left. Tarkenton gives it off. Tommy Mason trying to find running room, gets out to the 5, and then is driven back hard. If the Vikings want to let the clock run out, they can. The ball will be placed no farther up than the 5. It's on the 4-yard line, a 2-yard loss. 3rd down coming. 9 seconds to go. The Vikings from their own 4 have 3rd down. 18 to go, and they may well elect just to run that ball and let the clock run out, because they can't afford anything too fancy that close to their own goal line.
That's for certain, Ray. You wouldn't want Baltimore to go in at halftime as well as this one's been played, leading 7-0.
Let's take 10 seconds. This is where you hear the play-by-play broadcasts of the Minnesota Vikings.
It's 2 o'clock and 43 degrees in Minneapolis, St. Paul. From studios in Minneapolis and St. Paul at 830, this is WCCO.
The Vikings on their own 4-yard line. 9 seconds to go. Tarkenton under center. Takes a look around. Gets the ball. Gives it off to Bill Brown, who is hit at the goal line and driven back in. But it is not a safety. It is not a safety. It is ruled that he got past the goal line to about the 1-foot line. The clock shows 3 seconds to play. I don't know if Baltimore has called a timeout or not. The ball is right up against the goal line, but it is not a safety. What a rush that front line put on for Baltimore there. 4th down. The yardage to go is not important. There are still 3 seconds to go, so the Vikings have to do something with that ball. Bobby Walden going back to the deep end of the end zone, and watch it now, because the pressure will really be on as Baltimore tries to get through to block that punt.
Walden's in a rough spot here because with the ball on about the 1 or 2 inch line there, he's only back about 10 yards. He can't take too much of a stride because obviously Baltimore's going to put on some sort of a rush right here.
Bobby's looking right behind him, and there's a chalk mark right down there, waiting for the snap. He has protection, and he gets away a high, beautiful kick. Fading back and catching it, falling down at the 48-yard line. As is Heyman as the first half comes to an end. Walden coming through with a 44-yard pen under mighty tough conditions. And that ends the first half as Heyman had to back up to take it, and he fell over backwards as the first half came to an end. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Minnesota Vikings nothing, the Baltimore Colts nothing. How long has it been since the last time you saved $5 or $25 or $50? We hope your answer is just last month or yesterday. But if it isn't, we're at halftime, and I don't know. I've seen a lot of games that were scoreless at the half. But, Paul, I don't believe I've ever seen a scoreless halftime following as much action as we got in those first 2 quarters of play.
Well, there certainly was a lot of action. I keep having one thought running through my mind, and it's this. I'm darn glad I'm up here and not down on that field, because the field is a little bit hard at this stage of the season. They're playing across the old baseball infield, and it looks extremely hard. And, well, in the early stages of the ball game, Bill Pellington and company were really bombing. as were the Vikings. And you have the impression that come Monday, there's going to be a few people on the Vikings, for example, in to see Fred Zamberletti, the trainer, and get in that whirlpool. Jim Finks, general manager of the Minnesota Vikings, what do you think?
Well, Paul, I am amazed that I can't see how we are not on the scoreboard. We, I think, have dominated the first half completely. I don't know what the stats will prove, but it looks to me like we've run about 35 offensive plays and have taken the ball and have done everything but score. I just hope that the boys don't lose heart because they're playing a great football game. As you pointed out, it's a real rock'em sock'em type of football game, Paul.
Well, one has the impression that the Baltimore Colts, having been knocked off by the Vikings in that first game of the season, said we're going to really push it to them. And the Vikings, on the other hand, have said, oh, no, you're not. We're not going to get kicked around by you.
The way it looks today, Paul, it'd be hard to determine who was leading the Western Football Conference because even though Baltimore's only lost the one game, we've lost 4. I think on the play of the first half, our ball club looks better than Baltimore. We've moved the ball consistently on the ground, have taken the ball and driven it 30 or 40 yards at a time, and Billy Brown's running awfully hard, but we're not on the scoreboard yet.
Jim, if I can interrupt, just my own unofficial statistics would show 37 plays from scrimmage for the Vikings and 25 for Baltimore, which is just about what you said.
Just about, Ray, but they pay off on the scoreboard.
Jim, speaking of paying off, come November 28th, the Minnesota Vikings, along with other NFL ball clubs, will be going into that all-important draft. Why the change of date this year, and how do things stack up? Is there a new system? I understand something with the telephones this year.
That's correct. In the past, Paul, they've always gone to Chicago and had it, I believe, after the 12th game, and all clubs would meet in Chicago. But this year they're doing it before the 12th game. It'll be on Saturday, so you'll be drafting depending on your standings after the 11th game. Now, it's going to be done by telephone and TWX this year. Every club will stay in their own office where they have all their files and battery of telephones, and they still will have the headquarters of the draft in New York, where the press will congregate, the New York press, and the commissioner will be there, but each club will stay in their own respective city, do all the telephoning and to the players in advance that they want to draft, things of this nature, and then when they get ready to make their selection, they'll call New York, and the commissioner will announce it there.
In other words, if Johnny Jones at Wyoming University is your choice when it comes up, you do what then? You call in?
Oh, yes, we'll call in. First of all, we'll get permission, and we have a time limit allowed to us, Paul, to contact the boy that we're thinking about drafting before we actually make the draft. And as you, the example you used, if we do call Johnny Jones and he is agreeable to the terms and wants to play with the Vikings, then we will notify the league office that we are drafting Johnny Jones, and then he will then notify the next club. It's their turn. Now, this could go on and on, Paul. It's going to start quite early. The commissioner hasn't officially announced the time yet, but it'll probably start in the morning of the 28th, and I just hope it's finished by Sunday because, we're playing the Rams at home our last game that day.
Well, speaking of the Rams, on November 29th, that should be a darn good one to see. The Rams have got one of the best defensive ball clubs I've seen in a long time, Jim.
They've got great personnel, Paul. There's no question about it. That defensive front four, they're big and they're very agile type of boys. And this is a different type of Ram club that they're building. It's more along the pattern of the old New York Giant club, real tough defense and run the ball down your throats. And this is a throwback to the Giant type of club because Savari and a couple of the assistants were Giant players at one time. And used to be when Norm was playing out there, why they threw the ball an awful lot, and they were sort of a fancy Dan football club, but now they're real tough defensively and have some great personnel and probably will be a real contender in this league in another year or two.
If memory serves me right, on a release you sent out, isn't it Alumni Day?
That is correct. This was something, as you know, Paul, was started last year for all pro football players, ex-pro football players, regardless of what team they played with, or they're invited to come in and be our guests that day. We'll have a brunch for them at the stadium, and they'll be our guests at the game, and they'll be officially introduced. And it was very well accepted by everybody last year, and it's something we're looking forward to having again this year.
Obviously, Jim, through incomplete records, you may miss some fellows in your invitations. Can they call in or do anything?
Yes, Paul, I'm glad you brought that up. I wish they would call in. Anybody who has had any affiliation with pro football, regardless of the league or the team, why, they're more than welcome to come.
Jim Finks, thank you very much for stopping by.
Thanks, Paul. And see if you can get us some points this half, will you?
I sure will. We're at halftime. The score is 0-0, Baltimore Colts and the Minnesota Vikings at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, and we'll continue with our halftime show in just a few minutes.
Time now for a look at the news from the WCCO Radio News Bureau. Jack Hyatt reporting. 6 members of a family of 12 are dead today at Sartell, Minnesota, after a Saturday night of terror. 49-year-old John Jendersek shot his 42-year-old wife and 4 of their children to death before turning the gun on himself. Officials said the shootings occurred after Jendersek warned his wife not to go through with a divorce. The couple had been separated for about 2 months. The wife of a prominent Bayport, Minnesota dentist is being held today in connection with the shotgun slaying of her husband. Dr. Philip Samuelson died en route to a hospital. His wife, 40-year-old Audrey Samuelson, is being held on suspicion of murder. President Johnson wings back to Washington today to work on his $100 billion budget and a legislative slate for the new Congress that meets in January. And 6 weekend traffic mishaps continue to push the state highway death toll to the top. The latest reported fatality is 21-year-old David Nagel of Spring Valley. He was killed in a one-car accident near Simpson, Minnesota, this morning. 43 degrees in the Twin Cities, and you stand by now. Here comes the name and address of the winner, number 16, in the 1964 WCCO Radio Thanksgiving Turkey Sweepstakes. That's right. It's time to announce another winner. Number 16 in our turkey sweepstakes. This next number is Wilda Thomas of 82 North Smith Street in St. Paul. Wilda Thomas, you hurry now and call WCCO Radio right away at Federal 2-1202 and claim your fine Norbest turkey. You've just 10 minutes to call us. And if some of you folks know Wilda Thomas, tell her to call WCCO Radio right away and claim this fine Norbest turkey. Homegrown and processed by Doughboy Food Products Division. And all of you who sent in postcards on our WCCO Radio Thanksgiving Turkey Sweepstakes, keep tuned to 830 because we're now announcing the names of our lucky winners, and you'll hear another name coming up soon here on CCO. That's the big wish for a very happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at CCO Radio. Let us turn now to the weather. Cooler air is moving into the northwest this afternoon, and northern Wisconsin has a low center. Widespread cloudiness and some fog is reported in most sections of the 5-state regions, with only slow improvement anticipated. Heavy snowfalls were reported in portions of the Dakotas, with 3 inches reported at Lemon, South Dakota, and 5 inches at Minot, North Dakota. A trace of snow was reported over northern sections of Minnesota. The Twin Cities forecast calls for mostly cloudy, cooler this afternoon and tonight. Partly cloudy tomorrow. A low tonight of 28, high tomorrow 45, a low tomorrow night of 28. In the Twin Cities, skies are cloudy. The wind is from the northwest at 11, humidity 89%. The current Twin City temperature is 43 degrees. That's the latest news from the WCCO Radio News Bureau. Jack Hyatt reporting. Now, back to Baltimore.
Paul Giel along with Ray Christensen at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, home of the Baltimore Colts. The score at halftime is 0-0, and we're going to chat now with Don Kellett, the general manager of the Baltimore Colts. Don, the most natural question to ask you as a leadoff one, with the Colts on top in the Western Division, 8-1, are you surprised?
We're very pleasantly surprised, Paul. After we left Minneapolis, St. Paul, for our first game out there, when the Vikings beat us, we were confronted with what I thought was going to be a very, very long season. But fortunately, things have turned around, and after the 1-point victory the next week over the Green Bay Packers, it seemed to be a springboard for us up until today. Today, I don't like what I've seen out there in the first half, but I think that the Minnesota Vikings are not only an extremely fine football team, but they're certainly a well-balanced team offensively and defensively, particularly this afternoon.
We were remarking that it seems evident that both teams definitely came to play and sort of a revenge battle for Baltimore, but the Vikings said, we'll have no part of it. We came to play too.
Well, we have been a hitting football team, I will say, ever since the game in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and we're hitting today, but you fellas are hitting just as hard, and as a result, it's a scoreless deadlock at halftime.
Don, what about Lenny Moore? He's having a great year. Has Tom Matty being in the background given him a lot of incentive?
Well, Lenny has been having a great year, and Tom Matty, who was the starter last year and who Lenny had to beat out, made a remark to me early in the year. He says, if I make him the number one halfback on the team and one of the better halfbacks in the league, I feel that I will have contributed a great deal to the success of the team, and that's just what Tom Matty has done.
Steve Stonebaker, playing that left corner linebacker for you, of course, came to the Vikings in that Palmer Pyle deal. Are you happy with old Stoney?
We're very pleased with that trade, and I hope that the Vikings are pleased with Palmer Pyle because he's a fine football player. But we made 4 trades, one of which was the Stonebaker trade, and the other 3 have been doing well for us, too. So we're very pleased with what happened in the trade market.
Well, Don, it's going to be an interesting second half, and thank you for stopping by.
Don't be too tough on us, Paul.
Okay, Don Kellett, general manager of the Baltimore Colts.
The second half of today's game will get underway in just 1 minute. This portion of the game is brought to you by the man with the newest Fords in 15 years, your neighborhood Ford dealer. Discover why 65 is the best year yet to go Ford.
Say, have you been there yet?
Been where yet?
Your Ford dealers. This is the year to go. Yeah, it's the best year yet to visit your Ford dealer. Best year yet.
What is it your Ford dealer's got, my pet?
Only your Ford dealer's got the new Fords. Best Fords yet.
Yes, now your Ford dealer's got the best Fords yet. Try the all-new LTD, most luxurious Ford ever. The sleek new 2+2 Mustang Fastback sports car. The 65 Fairlane, stacked with looks and packed with value. The new Falcon with great new Go, plus great new gas savings.
Yeah, it's the best year yet to buy at your Ford dealers.
Best year yet to try at your Ford dealers.
Best Fords yet. See why at your Ford dealers. Go see the Fords today.
44 models of the most exciting and inviting cars ever built. Try Total Performance 65, best year yet to buy from your Ford dealer. No score. The second half will be getting underway shortly. Some statistics from Paul.
First downs for the Minnesota Vikings, 11. For the Colts, 7. First downs rushing, 2 for Baltimore, 8 for the Vikings. First downs passing, 5 for Baltimore, 2 for the Vikings. First downs by penalty, 1 for the Minnesota Vikings. Total yards gained net, 102 for Baltimore, 144 for the Vikings. Yards gained rushing, 145 for Minnesota to 27 by the Baltimore Colts. Yards gained passing, this is net again, 75 for Baltimore, that's with Johnny Unitas throwing all the way, -1 for the Minnesota Vikings. Total yards gained passing, 87 for the Baltimore Colts, 19 for the Vikings. We're about ready to start the second half now. Fred Cox is ready to tee up the ball as the Vikings kick off to Baltimore. And here with the play-by-play of the second half, Ray Christensen.
Fred Cox placing the ball on the kicking tee. The Vikings will defend a goal to our right in the third quarter. Shade of the stands extending almost all the way across the field now, except the corner to our far left. No score. Second half ready to begin. Fred Cox coming forward. And there's his kick. It's a long one. Back into the end zone. Tony Lorick takes it 4 yards deep out to the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, and out to the 27 or 28-yard line. From the 4 yards deep, that's a 32-yard return to the 28. First down, 10 to go. Baltimore starting the ball offensively for the second half after a scoreless first half. The Vikings had 1 touchdown called back by a penalty and had 1 field goal that hit the bar going up but went off to the side. This time both ends on the left side. Jimmy Orr actually a slot back to the left. The give goes to Moore, who goes across the 30 with a yard to spare. Vargo came up and Rose got him from behind. The ball on the 31, a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7 to go. George Rose came out of nowhere to make that tackle. On that last play, Willie Richardson was split wide to the left, which he has been earlier, but Jimmy Orr, who normally is flanked right, was in the slot on the left side, and they're going to do it again this time. Nobody split on the right side, just the tight end on that side. The give to the fullback, and Rip Hawkins got a hold of Hill and pulled him down from behind. And I mean, he was going straight ahead of it. All of a sudden, his head and shoulders were jerked backwards, and down he went. 1 yard gain to the 32-yard line. But I'd rather take a 5-yard loss and fall gracefully. Man, he really got wrenched back.
That'll be in the highlight films as they depict the way Rip Hawkins plays that middle linebacking position. He's a good one.
3rd down, 6 to go. From the 32, Baltimore in its own territory. This time, men are split left and right, and Orr is back to the right side. Back to pass. Setting is quarterback. He hits Jimmy Orr at the 40, and he wiggles away. But 2 more Vikings come up. Winston finally pretty well downing him. Rose had him and lost him, and Winston was the primary tackler after that, but it is a 1st down. A gain of 10 yards to the 49 yards to the 41-yard line. 1st and 10 from that point. That sideline pattern pretty tough to stop with Unitas and Orr combining. Unitas has now hit 7 out of 15. Tarkenton hit 3 out of 10 with 2 interceptions in the first half. As the pass defense, like the defense every way in the first half, was pretty rugged. Orr flanked right. Richardson split left. Strong right formation. Vikings ready to blitz. Now they start to drop back, but they may change that again. Back to pass with the blitz on is Unitas. He cuts it loose, and he hits his man Orr, who immediately runs out of bounds before he can even be tackled at the 48. A gain of 2nd. It'll be 2nd down, 3 to go. 2 passes to Orr, both completed. 2nd and 3 right now. Baltimore on its own 48.
If my guess is right, what they'll try to do now, Jimmy Orr will go down in that little sideline pattern 2 or 3 times, and then all of a sudden you'll get George Rose a little bit short conscious, and then Orr will turn it on and try to lick him deep.
Only Orr split. There's a pitch out to Hill, and from behind, Hawkins can't hold him. He goes across the 50 and then is dropped on the 49-yard line. He'll be just about at the 1st down point. Hawkins slowed him down. John Campbell was the man who hit him after Hawkins slowed him down. The ball is on the 49 of the Vikings, and we will have a measurement. It will be very close. I'd have to guess it would be that it didn't quite make it. That's a correct guess. It is 6 inches short of a 1st down. 3rd down, and that 6 inches to go. A 3-yard gain on the play by Hill, who has been running at fullback in the 2nd and now the 3rd quarters for Baltimore. Lorick was the fullback for the 1st quarter. Hill has been out with an injury, and Lorick had been running so well that he was giving the starting assignment today. Hill is back in top shape now, and he looks it. 3rd down and inches for the Colts on the Vikings' 49-yard line. No score in our game. 2nd half just underway. Ray Christensen with Paul Giel. Orr flanked right. No other flankers. Unitas, the quarterback, gives it to Hill, and he is driven back, then falls forward, and has his 1st down. He's on the 48, a 1-yard gain. Hill, with that fine 2nd effort, picks up the 1 yard that he needed, and it's 1st and 10, Baltimore on the Vikings' 48-yard line. He gets a hand as he comes off the field, and Tony Lorick goes in. He's taken a pretty good battering on these last 3 plays. Richardson flanked to the left. Orr is not split at the right side, but he is lined up on the right side. Unitas under center on 1st and 10. No score in our game. Gives it on the draw play to Lenny Moore, trying to go outside. Now still trying to find running room, and Eller catches up with him and slows him down, and then he is rushed out of bounds by Rose. He wound up with a 1-yard gain and had to fight pretty hard to accomplish that. Eller gave great pursuit, and Rose finally pushed him out of bounds, with Larry Vargo coming up to make sure. 1-yard gain to the 47. It'll be 2nd down and 9 to go, and how that Carl Eller can turn it on.
Eller's got real good hand-fighting ability, and he kept Moore to the outside, as Ray described, so that George Rose could come up and make the stop. Carl Eller and Jim Marshall are the ends. Jim Prestel and Dixon are the tackles. Winston, Hawkins, and Campbell, the linebackers. Rose, Schrockman, Kasalki, and Vargo, the deep backs.
2nd down, 9 to go. Unitas with flankers both sides. Fakes to Lorick. His back to pass with Lorick trying to block. He cuts it loose. He's got his man out there. Moore can't get it at the 23. He would have been able to go all the way. Moore appeared to slow down a little bit. I don't know if he didn't read the pass correctly in the air or not. He took a long look at it and appeared to slow down to meet Paul, and the pass landed that slow down distance beyond him.
I think so, because Ed Schrockman was out there along with Larry Vargo, and Schrockman seemed to stop too, and almost with Moore, as if he thought it was going to be thrown short.
It's just possible that that pass was high enough to get into the sunshine, because the shade extends just to the start of the stands, and by the time the ball gets up that high, it might just have been in the sun, and which would make it deceptive. In any event, it's an incomplete pass for which the Vikings can be grateful on that play. Strong left formation. Men split both ways back in the pocket. Unitas setting. He cuts it loose up the middle, and he hits his man Mackey at the 30. Goes down to the 23-yard line and tries to get up and run again, but Kasalki nails him as he was tripped up originally by Vargo on the 24. First down. 23-yard gain. That running pass pattern, a post pattern, actually Mackey going down the left side and then slanting toward the goalpost, which is why it gets its name of post pattern, and he grabbed it off and is down on the 24. First and 10, 3 in a row for Baltimore as they got the opening kickoff of the second half of a scoreless game, and this is their deepest penetration. They're set to go. Unitas with strong left for his formation. Gives it off to Lorick, and he is hit immediately by Winston, who is blitzing in reverse direction when he saw the handoff. He was aiming at Unitas and changed direction, and bang, 1 yard loss to the 25. Fine play by Roy Winston. It's second down. 11 to go from the 25.
There are a few scores in the third period. Washington 20, Pittsburgh nothing in the second period. Detroit 21, Cleveland nothing.
That's a Cleveland 20, Paul. The sun being on that scoreboard makes it very hard to read. 21-20 Detroit in the second quarter.
In the second period, New York 7, St. Louis 3. In the first period, Philadelphia 7, Dallas nothing.
Paul and I have looked at that scoreboard and tried to figure out the numbers. The sun's still on it, and it makes it very difficult to pick it out. Second down, 11 to go from the Vikings 25. Now here is that slot back to the left. That's Lenny Moore. The fake to the fullback, back to pass. Unitas trying to set, and up and down he goes as Dixon hit him down hard at the 27-yard line. Unitas kept cocking that arm, trying to find somebody, and finally Dixon found him. A loss, 3 yards back to the 28. So losses of 1 and 3 make it 3rd and 14.
Actually, Unitas had pretty fair protection on that particular play, and he stayed in the pocket as long as he usually does. But the coverage by George Rose on Jimmy Orr, the intended receiver, the man that Unitas was looking for, was excellent, and he had to eat the ball as Dixon jumped all over him.
Third down coming, 14 to go. Baltimore needs to get to the 14 for a first down. There's a slot back to the left. Moore actually inside the tight end with the spread end beyond him. Back to pass. There's the draw given to Lorick, and the Vikings were not fooled, and he has maybe a 1 yard gain, but no more. Again, Paul Dixon on the stop, and one more Viking, and I'll have to wait till he gets up to see who it was. It was Jim Marshall. 1 yard gain to the 27. It's fourth down. And now we likely will have a field goal attempt by Lou Michaels, who has just come into the lineup. He's right up the middle, and it's well within distance. It's at the 35-yard line. The clock shows 9:28. It's on the move. The snap back, the place. Michaels has plenty of time, and he booms it up and through. No longer a scoreless tie. There's a timeout on the field with a score: Baltimore 3, the Vikings nothing.
Today, more than ever, a truck is a business machine. And now, new for 1965, Ford builds you the truck that's just right for your business. The new Ford pickup introduces the new twin I-beam. First, independent front suspension with big truck durability. Tougher pickup, smoother ride. The new Ford Econoline van features new engines, new power, as much as 48% more power available. Low, flat floor, up to 8 doors, proven economy. The new Ford Ranchero, more powerful, better looking than ever. Hundreds of dollars less than the nearest competitor. Ford trucks for 65, built to last longer. Now at your Ford dealers.
For the longest line of trucks in the industry, see your Ford dealer. See why 65 is the best year yet to go Ford. A 35-yard field goal by Lou Michaels makes it 3-0 with 9 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the third quarter. And Michaels now will kick off. The deep men for the Vikings, Billy Butler and Tom Michel, standing just behind their own goal line to our right. That one by Michaels was way up, right through. No doubt about it. 3-0. After 2 quarters and a good 5.5 minutes of the third, the tie is broken. Very high kickoff, although not deep. Coming up, Butler takes it on the 7 to the 10, the 15 to the right sideline, the 20, the 25-yard line, and there is wrestled down as he crosses the 25 and gets to about the 27-yard line. One of the highest kickoffs I have seen. It wasn't deep, but it stayed way up there. 7 to the 27, a 20-yard return by Butler. Vikings have the ball offensively for the first time as the Colts went 12 plays before they had to go to the field goal. Vikings set to go, and the fans really roaring. Strong left the formation. Tarkenton gives it off to Bill Brown. He slams straight ahead as 2 blitzing linebackers hit him at the line of scrimmage, and he carried them 3 yards, possibly 4. 4 it is. The ball on the 31, 2nd down and 6 to go. Bill Brown gained 72 yards rushing, I believe. Yes, that's right, on 13 carries in that first quarter. So he was averaging about 5.5 per try. Also caught a couple of passes for 11-yard gain and a 2-yard loss. 2nd down, 6 to go from their own 31. Vikings now trailing. Strong right to formation. The fake to Brown, the give to Mason. Sweeping wide to the 30, to the 35. Nice cutback, but there is a flag, and that may be clipping ruled on Milt Sunday as he hit Gino Marchetti back around the 27 with a block, and the flag was thrown back there. Mason gained enough for a first down out to the 38-yard line, but the ball will be brought back, and the Vikings will be moved deep into their own territory. Holding was called on Sunday. Ball is put down. Offsetting penalties. Holding called on both sides, so the ball is still on the 31-yard line, and it's still 2nd down and 6 to go. We saw the flag drop and the finger pointed at Sunday, but there was another penalty somewhere against Baltimore. So they cancel each other out. It's still 2nd and 10. Tarkenton on strong left is back in the pocket. The rush is on. He cuts it loose, and trying to get the ball was Jerry Reichow as he was wrestled down, and he immediately goes over to the official and says, "Wasn't that a little quick?" It was Shinnick who wrestled him down. No pass interference. It is 3rd down and 6 to go.
It was one of those close, difficult calls for an official to make. There's no hemming and hawing. You've got to make it one way or the other. Shinnick, from here, of course, we're a little bit partial. Looked as if he had Jerry Reichow around the neck ready to throw him down before the ball even got there. This, of course, would constitute interference, but the referee is in a better position than we are, and he called it otherwise.
3rd down coming. Long yardage. Back to pass in the pocket. Tarkenton sets. He's trying to hit Hall, and it's off his fingertips and out of bounds at the 38-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down and 6 to go. Tarkenton has hit only 3 for 12 so far today as the defense has been great. Let's take 10 seconds. This is where you hear the play-by-play broadcast of the Minnesota Vikings.
Stay tuned to 830 for the names of the Thanksgiving Turkey Sweepstakes winners. We're announcing names today from 830. Studios, Minneapolis, St. Paul, WCCO. It's 43
the Vikings
degrees.
On their own 31-yard line have Bobby Walden in, whose punt, the final play of the first half from the deep end of the end zone, kept the Vikings out of a jam. There's a high spiral, not real deep, but deep enough. Coming back to the 19-yard line, Wendell Harris tries to get away, and he does come for 3-4 yards before Billy Butler makes the tackle. Let's see. It was Larry Vargo, I believe. Yes, Vargo, who almost nailed him and certainly slowed him down, so he couldn't make much of a return. He did make a return from the 19 out to the 22, a 3-yard return, and Baltimore will start from its own 22-yard line. That was a 50-yard punt. So thus far, 54, 44, and 50. That's a 49.3 average for Bobby Walden, and one of those was from the deep end of the end zone with a lot of pressure. That was his shortest. It was long enough. Slot back right, Lenny Moore back to pass. He lobs it out there and hits Mackey at the 25. Kaselke hits him and then gets immediate help from 2 more Vikings. One of them was Schrockman. Then Dixon, and by golly, on the bottom of the pile, John Campbell. 4 men got him. He is down on the 26, a gain of 4. Now there's a timeout on the field with the score. Baltimore 3, the Vikings nothing.
Like to dance? Try the twist. Like to drive? Try Total Performance 65 at your Ford dealers.
It's the best year yet to see the man, your Ford dealer. It's the best year to pay him a call. You'll have a ball when you see all those new Fords.
The best is here and all under one roof, your Ford dealers. The all-new 65 Ford LTD, most luxurious Ford ever built. The cool, exciting 65 Mustang 2+2 Fastback. The new Fairlane, most car a budget can buy. And the savingest Falcon yet.
It's the best year yet. Go see the man, your Ford dealer.
See the man with the newest Fords in 15 years. Discover why 65 is the best year yet to buy from your Ford dealer.
University of Minnesota can certainly be proud of its athletes they're turning out. John Campbell starting today on defense. Milt Sunday is starting left guard. Tom Hall playing flanker. And, of course, Carl Ellerat starting defensive left end. And they're all playing fine football. Milt Sunday's had a big adjustment, of course, coming from a defensive tackle in college to an offensive guard. But he gets out around the bend, and he's always trying. And John Campbell, I might add, is doing a pretty good job stepping in and filling the shoes of Bill Jopko.
2nd and 6 to go from its own 26. Baltimore with slot back right. That's Moore. Back to pass. Unitas looking. Still has time. Fires it downfield. He's got Moore. Gets it on the 40. The 20, the 10, and over. He got out beyond Fargo and Winston, took it on the run, and it was easy sailing from there on in. 74 yards and a touchdown. Lenny Moore, who already has broken the record, has now scored in his 13th straight game. And after a scoreless first half, the Baltimore Colts have come back with a rush and have scored twice in less than 2 minutes. First by a field goal, now by a touchdown. 1 minute and 50 seconds apart. Michaels will attempt the extra point. He boots it right through to make the score 10-0 in favor of the Baltimore Colts. There was a timeout. Then on 2nd and 6, Unitas in the pocket with lots of time. Only at the very end, as the protection began to wear a little thin, did Carl Eller break loose and come at him, but he still had time. Moore broke loose, was beyond Fargo and Winston by 5 yards when he took it at the 35. And, of course, he is considerably faster than either of them, and he went sailing into the end zone. He actually eased up the final 10 yards. 7 minutes, 11 seconds to play in the third quarter. It's now 10-0 for Baltimore, and the Vikings are going to have to get back the offensive clicking that they had in the first half. It didn't produce any touchdowns, but every time they got the ball, with the exception of the 6th and last time of the first half, they reeled off at least 2 first downs. So let's hope they can recover that spark and get back in, because right now the league leaders, who have won 8 in a row since that opening loss to the Vikings, have a lead of 10-0.
I believe that was number 15 for Johnny Unitas, too. He's now tied with Fran Tarkenton as far as touchdown passes. That looked like the old swinging up again because the linebacker was trying to cover.
Hitting 6 for 14 in the first half, which is well below par for him. Unitas has hit 5 out of 6 in the second half. Lou Michaels will kick off. Michelle and Butler are the deep men. Michaels comes forward. There's a high one. This is a long one. Butler backing into the end zone. Takes it 4 yards deep. He's going to try to run it out. The 10, slanting left, the 15, the 20-yard line, and out to the 25-yard line. Billy Butler picking his spots beautifully. Got a good block from Errol Linden to give him an extra 7 or 8 yards. And he followed that block very well. So the Vikings will start from their own 25-yard line, 1st and 10 to go. Billy really had to pick his spot on that one because it was high and it was into the end zone, giving Baltimore plenty of time to get downfield. Good run back. 1st and 10, Vikings from their own 25-yard line. Strikeout, split to the left, flank right. Tom Hall on a strong right, back to pass is Tarkenton in the pocket, cuts it loose, hits Reichau at the 34, and he is knocked down immediately by Lenny Lyles. He'll be just short of a first down. The ball is put on the 34, a gain of 9, 2nd down and 1 to go. That's Fran's first completion in the second half. He is now 4 for 13 as Baltimore has been mighty tough against the passes. Vikings back in the huddle. That was the first completion to an end, I think. That's right. Brown and Mason caught the other passes in the first half. Brown caught 2. Mason the other one. This time, a tall to the right, to the left is Rykow. The give to Bill Brown straight ahead, blasting across the 35 for the first down as he got at least to the 37 before he was driven backward. 3-yard gain by Bill Brown. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 37. The Vikings have their first down of the second half. The clock shows 5:47 time remaining in the third quarter, and it's on the move. The Vikings are hoping that they can get on the move and break into the scoring column. They dominated play in the first half, a scoreless first half. They had the ball 35 times officially to 25 officially for Baltimore. Strong right formation. Tarkenton surveying the defense. Goes back to pass. Sets, cuts it loose. It's deflected away, intercepted. Collington on the 44. He may go all the way. No, from behind. He is hauled down inside the 30-yard line. It was Hal Bedsole who prevented a touchdown by catching up with him from behind on the 28-yard line. Third interception of the day for the Colts, this one by Bill Pellington. Took it from the 44 down to the 28, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Baltimore. And the Viking drive is stopped right there, the third interception for Baltimore today. Strong right, the formation. Quarterback Unitas gives it to his fullback, and he'll blast for 5 down to the 23, maybe the 22-yard line. Ball be placed on the 23. 5-yard gain, 2nd down and 5 to go. And the Colts, with everything going their way, their offense clicking and another pass interception setting them up, threaten now to break this game wide open. They lead 10-0 after a scoreless first half. They scored twice in less than 2 minutes. Now they have it. 2nd and 5 of the Vikings 23. Strong right formation. The give to Moore, sweeping right from behind. He is almost tripped up and then finally is tripped up. Prestel had him. He shook loose. Eller knocked him off his balance, and then he finally went down with Kaselke making sure he stayed down on the 21-yard line. It was a gain of 2. Credit all 3 of those Vikings with an assist on the play. 3rd down, 3 to go on the Vikings 21. 4 minutes to play right now. Third quarter. 10-0 Baltimore leads. A little more time than usual in the huddle. Baltimore doesn't waste a lot of time in the huddle. Both ends on the left side this time split out. The tight end moved out farther than usual, and Richardson split way wide with Orr tight on the right side. There's the pass up the middle, knocked down by Vargo. He had Hill all set up at the 5, and Vargo leaped out to knock it down and prevent a touchdown. The pass was accurately thrown, but Vargo knocked it down just as Hill was behind him. Good play by Larry Vargo. That brings up 4th down, and apparently a field goal attempt coming up because Michael's coming into the lineup. At the moment, a field goal does not hurt the Vikings particularly. They trail 10-0 now. A field goal would make it 13-0. And 2 touchdowns with 2 extra points would beat that. The attempt will be made from the 28-yard line. The snap, the place, and the kick, and it's not good. It's off to the right, and it was low. He did not get a good toe on that one. So the Vikings will take over from their own 20-yard line. Michaels is 1 for 3 on field goal attempts today. Fred Cox has booted one for the Vikings that hit the upright on the right side and caromed off to the side. Not good. Vikings will take over from their own 20-yard line with 3:34 to play in the third quarter. Sometimes just having a field goal when it looked like it might be within range and might be good under the circumstances go awry will spark the team. In this case, the Vikings, and we'll see if that happens. They'll start from their own 20-yard line.
Baltimore Colts have been playing to nothing but sellout crowds here in Baltimore. 60,213 on hand once again. Don Kellett, the general manager, told me that they cut off their season ticket sale at around the 50,000 mark to leave some 10,000 seats for individual game sale, and they've been doing this for the past 3 seasons. This situation does not exist solely in Baltimore. It exists in a great many cities in the National Football League where the game has become so popular. The demand for tickets is so great And that's a little gentle reminder to Minnesota Viking fans. If those new stands come about on the east sidelines, you better put in your order real quick.
1st and 10, the Vikings starting from their own 20-yard line, trailing 20-0. Strong right to formation. The fake to Mason, back to pass is Tarkenton. The rush is on. He rolls to the side, flips it out there, intended for Brown, and it is intercepted by Shinnick, who comes back from the 35 to the 30 to the 25 and is rushed out of bounds by Mason inside the 25. Now, there was a flag on the play, but it might have been against Brown. We'll see against whom the interference was, as Brown and Shinnick were battling for it. It is pass interference against Shinnick, the man who picked it off. He interfered with Brown. They were battling for it, and they were battling for it before the ball got there, and apparently it was Shinnick who did the pushing first.
As Fran Tarkenton scrambled out to his left, he was looking for a receiver. Bill Brown was trying to lick Shinnick, the right corner linebacker, on a swing and up-tight pattern where the linebacker has to cover Brown. Brown must have had about a half-step lead on him, and Shinnick unconsciously stuck out the hand to kind of slow him up. The referee happened to be on the spot. A good thing because Shinnick intercepted.
First down on the 37-yard line by penalty. Vikings set to go. The give now to Bill Brown, who slams across the 40 with a yard to spare, a 4-yard gain. 2nd down and 6 to go from the 41. Clock shows 3 minutes, 15 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Washington now leads Pittsburgh, Paul, 30-0 in the 4th quarter. Cleveland has gone ahead of Detroit for the first time, 27-21 in the 4th quarter. Philadelphia 10, Dallas nothing in the 2nd quarter. And New York 7, St. Louis 3 in the 3rd quarter. 2 other games, Chicago at Los Angeles, Green Bay at San Francisco on the coast haven't started yet. Vikings 2nd and 6 from their own 41-yard line. Strong left the formation. Tarkenton back to pass. Throws the quick swing pass out now. Screen to Brown, 40, 45-yard line, 50, and 2 more yards into opposing territory as Boyd tried to steal the ball, and you could see Bill squeeze it to his midsection. Vikings ball 1st and 10. A gain of 11 yards on the play. Screen pass for a 1st down on the 48 of Baltimore. What a day Bill Brown is having. Just a great one. 72 yards, 81 yards total, both passing, receiving, and rushing in the first half. And he's gone over the 100 mark with something to spare thus far. On the 48 of Baltimore, the Vikings have it 1st and 10. Just over 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Strong right to formation. Baltimore ready to blitz. Tarkenton back to pass, gets some protection, cuts it loose. He completes it now to Ryko at the 35. He goes to the 30, still standing, fights his way forward, and is down on the 25-yard line. What a grab, as it was almost cut off by Wendell Harris. And Ryko, and I don't know how he stayed in bounds, but he most certainly did, made that grab and somehow kept from staggering out of bounds, kept his footing, was hit, kept his footing again, and went to the 25-yard line. Total gain 23, a 1st down on the Baltimore 25. Great catch.
A tremendous catch with the real good hands. The man going up for the interception was between Jerry and Fran Tarkenton, and I don't know how he came up with the ball.
Strong right, the give to Mason, sweeping wide. He has time to go. He goes to the 25 to the 20-yard line and is dumped suddenly at the 19-yard line. Bill Pellington, one of the men. Another man was Wendell Harris. The ball is placed right on the 20-yard line. A gain of 5 by Mason. 2nd down and 5 to go. That blocking is peeling off well on those sweeps.
The guards, Sunday and Larry Bowie, really got around the bend and turned it on and had a chance to get upfield.
Exactly 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down, 5 to go. The Vikings on the Baltimore 20 trail 10-0. The give to Bill Brown, who slams ahead almost to the 15. He will be close to a 1st down. I don't think he will be quite far enough. The referee still unpiling them. The ball will be placed on the 16. A gain of 4. 3rd down coming and 1 to go for a 1st down. Baltimore brings Guy Reese into the lineup. Billy Ray Smith gets the rest for at least 1 play. Just over a yard to go. It's about 4 feet away. 3rd down coming. 25 seconds with the clock on the move. We're nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. Strong right to formation. Tarkenton, the quarterback. Fakes, keeps that ball. The rush is on. He gets his pass away. He has Bedsole on the 5. He's all alone. Touchdown. Tarkenton with a great rush on him with Shinnick leading the way. Got rid of that ball just in time, and Bedsole, the only man near him was Ryko standing on the goal line. Bedsole was in better position for the pass. He took it on the 5-yard line, and he could have walked in. He trotted as it was. There was no need to do any more, and with 5 seconds left in the third quarter, the Vikings have gone on the scoreboard for the first time on a 16-yard pass to Hal Bedsole. Earlier, Bedsole caught another one on the goal line, but a penalty nullified it. Fred Cox will attempt the extra point. The snap back to place, the boot, and there was a good rush, incidentally, but Fred put it right through the uprights, and the score becomes 10-7. Now Fred will be kicking off, and that may well bring the third quarter to an end. 10-7, the Vikings. Starting from their own 20, go the 80 yards in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plays. That does not count that penalty, which gave them a first down. So 6 plays for the 80 yards. 4 first downs in that drive. The Vikings have 16 first downs. The Colts have 11. And after a scoreless first half, Baltimore has gone ahead 10-0. The Vikings come back with their first touchdown. It's 10-7. 5 seconds to play in the third quarter. Gordy Smith gets in there, giving the Vikings 11 men on that kickoff team. Now the ball being brought out for Fred Cox, and he'll kick it off.
Lorick and Looney, team for Baltimore. Cox kicking off.
Fred Cox set to go.
We got a big break on that play earlier when Fran Tarkenton tried to hit Bill Brown on the swinging up pattern, and Shinnick was called for interference, and we got 15 yards of first down and new life.
There have been a lot of breaks both ways today. There's the kickoff, a sailor type, a little different from the usual. It's grabbed on the run by Looney on the 5, the 15, the 20-yard line, the 25-yard line, out to the 30-yard line, the 35, and Bill Swain from behind hauls him down, and Sean Campbell got him from the other side on the 34. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Baltimore 10, the Vikings 7.
Only Ford pickups have it.
The twin I-beam ride is the smoothest pickup ride you've ever tried. Ford 65.
Now, for the first time ever, a pickup truck with 2 front axles. Ford's twin I-beam front suspension.
The twin I-beam ride is the smoothest pickup ride you've ever tried. Ford 65.
Twin I-beam. First, independent front suspension with big truck durability. Toughest pickup, smoothest ride. Drive it now at your Ford dealers.
Ford pickups built to last longer.
Your Ford dealer has a truck for every job and budget, one just right for you. Stop in and see why 65's the best year yet to buy at your Ford dealers. Following today's Vikings-Colts game, here are the scores and stories of this and other NFL games on the Pro Football Scoreboard with Paul Giel and Herb Carneal. First and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Baltimore with the ball, ready to start. Strong right, the formation. Unitas, the quarterback, or flank right, Richardson to the left. The give to halfback Moore, and he slants. No, that was the fullback Hill, straight ahead for 6 yards out to the 40-yard line before Hawkins nailed him. On the 40, second down and 4 to go. Second down from its own 40, Baltimore with a 10-7 lead as the Vikings have scored for the first time in the final 5 seconds of the third quarter, and now want to get that ball back and score again. Something they have to do sometime in this quarter if they're to win the game. Baltimore moving the ball well. There's the handoff to Moore, slides right, works his way for a couple, but hanging on determinedly was Roy Winston. He looked like he was looking around for a rope so he could hog tie Moore because he really had a firm grip. On the 42-yard line, it was a gain of 2, bringing up third down and still 2 to go for a first down. 10-7. Gino Marchetti says this is his last year for sure at the sidelines, watching the play. He's defensive only, of course, so he's not in there right now. Strong left the formation. Unitas under center on 3rd and 2. Gives it to Moore, sweeping left. He has his first down as he comes up, breaks into the open, and from behind Winston throws him down, and then he is dropped across the 40 down to the 33 of the Vikings by Hawkins. Lenny Moore really got the first down on that one. as he ripped for 24 yards to the Vikings 34. Winston slowed him down near the midfield stripe, but he staggered away from that, and then Hawkins fought him for 5 yards before finally downing him on the 34 of the Vikings. Lenny Moore, who is so explosive, exploded on that one. He caught the touchdown pass. 74-yard affair that gave Baltimore its one touchdown. 1st and 10 on the Vikings 34-yard line. Strong right formation. Back to pass. Unitas fires it. He's trying to hit Orr. Rose trying to cover him, and he snaps it away and almost into the hands of Orr. Boy, they battled hard for that, and George Rose deflected it, and Orr, recovering his balance, almost caught it back at the 5-yard line. It was a good play by Rose, but it was almost disastrous.
Another fine play by George Rose for this particular reason. That's Jimmy Orr. He comes downfield. He went to the outside as if it was going to be the down-and-out type pattern. Then he turned it on Johnny Unitas, predetermined to play, obviously, in the huddle. Threw the ball long and far. Rose was not taken in by the fake to the outside, stayed with Orr. But what I was afraid of was that play in that first game of the season when the ball was bobbling in the air and Orr picked it off and kept on going for a score.
Strong right formation on 2nd and 10 on the Vikings 34. Baltimore with the ball. Unitas with a long call this time. Goes back in the pocket. The rush is on. He starts to run. He cuts it loose, whips it sidearm, and almost intercepting was Brockman, who cut in front of the end where Willie Richardson and batted it away and tried to hold it, but couldn't at the 25. It all happened too quickly. It was a great effort by Ed Schrockman. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10 to go. We have talked in the past about the opponents picking on George Rose. Believe me, this is not the case today. With Raymond Berry out of the lineup, Baltimore has one outstanding pass receiver. The best in the lineup, beyond a doubt, is Jimmy Orr, and you've got to throw to him no matter who's covering him. 3rd and 10. A little rest for Willie Richardson as Alex Hawkins comes in.
It wasn't much of a rest. He blew an assignment, I'm thinking. Unitas was really mad at him, and they put Hawkins in.
Strong right to formation. Unitas back to pass. Cuts it loose. He's got Orr out there, and he hits him at the 22, and he goes out of bounds immediately. 12 yards and a 1st down. Ball placed on the 21, a 13-yard gain. So from 3rd and 10, Baltimore has another 1st down on the Vikings' 21-yard line. And the pressure gets all the tougher for the Minnesota defense. It's 10-7 Baltimore, 12:51 left to play. Here come the Colts. They line up strong right. Hawkins split left, or to the right. Back to pass, the draw play to Hill, and Carl Eller really got at him and tackled him standing up. He never did go down. Carl got that arm out there, and he clotheslined him. And there are easier ways to make a living than running into that, believe me. 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8.
When Carl hit him, he straightened him right up, and then when he turned him around and the whistle had blown and the play was stopped, he turned him around, but who was coming up? Not Hart, of course, but none other than Rip Hawkins, you know.
I thought he was going to hang him out to dry there for a minute. 2nd down, 8 to go. Hawkins split wide to the left, Moore to the right, which is the near sideline. Back to pass. Setting, he throws it, and Hawkins dives and can't get it at the 5-yard line and is angry with himself. He made a good try for it. He had the lead on Schrockman going toward the sideline, but he couldn't get to the ball. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8 to go from the 19-yard line.
Fans, we can't express it on you enough how tough it is for any of these defensive backs. When a passer like Unitas gets time and the receivers know where they want to go, it's murder. You've got to have that pressure put on by the men up front, or you're dead as a defensive backfield. The Unitases, the Tarkingtons, the Bart Stars, they're going to get it to those receivers if they get the time.
3rd down, 8 to go from the Vikings' 19-yard line. A key play, back to pass, is Unitas in the pocket. The pass is deflected, I believe, by Campbell. He had his arms the highest of the men I could see. Marshall was there, so was Prestel. It appeared to be Campbell who deflected the ball and set it spinning over to the sideline. It was intended downfield to the left side, possibly to the tight end, Mackey, but it's impossible to predict because he was broken up so quickly. And Michaels is in there to attempt a field goal. The ball will be held on the 26-yard line. We have just over 12 minutes remaining. The snap, the place, and the kick. It's up there plenty high, but it is off to the right. Not good. So there is a timeout on the field with the score still Baltimore 10, the Vikings 7.
Say, have you been there yet?
Been where yet?
Your Ford dealers. This is the year to go. It's the best year yet to visit your Ford dealer. Best year yet.
What is it your Ford dealer's got, my pet?
Only your Ford dealer's got the new Fords. Best Fords yet.
Yes, now your Ford dealer's got the best Fords yet. Try the all-new LTD, most luxurious Ford ever. The sleek new 2+2 Mustang Fastback sports car. The 65 Fairlane, stacked with looks and packed with value. The new Falcon with great new Go, plus great new gas savings.
Yeah, it's the best year yet to buy at your Ford dealers.
Best year yet to try at your Ford dealers.
Best Fords yet. See why at your Ford dealers. Go see the Fords today.
44 models of the most exciting and inviting cars ever built. Try Total Performance 65. Best year yet to buy from your Ford dealer.
While we have a chance, I'd like to mention that we've got a couple of Minneapolis Minutemen with us. Gunnar Robick and Howie Runyon, the past president of the Minneapolis Minutemen, are in our booth. Glad to have them here. Also, a delegation from Univac flew in for the ball game today.
Vikings set to go from their 20-yard line after the missed field goal. 1st and 10. The give to Tommy Mason up the middle. 5 yards. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 yards. And it was just that way. Crawling, fighting, scratching his way with Wendell Harris carrying him the last 5 yards. It's a first down on the 32. 12 in all for Mason. Boy, he was really planting his feet on each one of those because guys were hanging on all the way. I think he got the first 3 yards free, but after that it was a real struggle. 1st and 10 on a 12-yard gain up the middle by Mason. The Vikings, strong left formation. Reichow split to the left and Hall to the right, but both of them not very far out. Mason sweeping left now. Gets a block of beauty from Bowie. Comes to the 30. Fights his way forward to the 34-yard line. There was a fumble on the play. I have not seen a signal yet from the official.
Mason brought down by Marchetti.
I believe that the ball was blown dead. In any event, it's a 2-yard gain for Mason, and the ball still belongs to the Vikings on their own 34-yard line. There was a fumble. The ball had been blown dead. Earlier, what you might call a quick whistle seemed to favor Baltimore. In this case, it seemed to favor the Vikings. Here again, we can't hear the whistle up there, and there could be any number of factors involved. In any event, it's 2nd and 8 Vikings from their own 34-yard line. Strong left formation. The give to Bill Brown, and that time they were ready for him, so he went airborne and cracked into that waiting defensive mass and got across the 35 to the 36, a gain of 2. It's 3rd down and 6 to go as the Vikings have had 2 straight 2-yard gains and now have to get the longer gain if they want to keep the ball. 10-7, Baltimore leads.
The lineup is still the same. Jerry Reichow and Hal Betzel are at the ends. Grady Alderman and Errol Linden at the tackles. Milt Sunday and Larry Bowie at the guards. Mick Tingelhoff, at center. Fran Tarkenton, Mason, Hall, and Brown in the backfield. Hall is the flanker.
The Vikings go strong right, and again, the split and flanker men are not out too far. Rolling out to the right is Fran Tarkenton, looking, trying to find a receiver, fires it on the run, and he hits his man, Tom Hall, at the 47-yard line for a first down. He is rushed out of bounds by Boyd immediately. Good catch by Tom Hall. Went down, cut to the sideline, grabbed it on the run, and went out on the 47. A gain of 11 yards, and the Vikings on 3rd and 6 come through with that first down pass. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line, their own 47, just under 10 minutes to play in the game. 10-7, Baltimore leads, and this has been a great ball game. Strong right formation, the Vikings on the near sideline, directly beneath us. Back to pass in the pocket is Tarkenton, looking to Brown, throws to his other man, Mason, on the right side. Swing pass out to the 45, 47, down to about the 49. And Mason was hit after he was down. Coming up really to give him a good sock was Jerry Logan, and he was called on it. And this will give the Vikings a first down. Stonebreaker made the tackle. The penalty is not against him. It's against Logan, who came up afterwards and hit Mason hard. The gain was just 1 yard on the pass, but the 15-yard penalty moves it down to the 37 of Baltimore. Give the Vikings a completed pass for a 1-yard gain, and then the additional penalty gives them the first down. 1st and 10 on the 37 of Baltimore with 9:47. We told you feeling was high in this game, and believe me, it is. And Tarkenton cannot give his signals to be heard, so he says, I can't make myself heard, and the officials call time, and the Vikings just go back into the huddle. Let's take 10 seconds here. This is where you hear the play-by-play broadcast of the Minnesota Vikings.
It's 2 minutes after 3, 43 degrees. The winds from the northwest at 11. From studios Minneapolis, St. Paul at 830 WCCO.
Now the official says, let's try it again, fellas. The clock stopped with 9:47 to go. And you can bet they'll start right up again. Here come the Vikings. Listen. Fran just says, go ahead, get over the ball, Tingelhoff. But then he looks around. Now gets under center. Vikings 1st and 10 from the Baltimore 37. They're going to try to run the ball. Strong right is the formation. The give to Bill Brown, slashes into the open, the 30, the 25-yard line, and is hit and sent high in the air by Logan. He comes down on the 21, a gain of 16 and a first down by Bill Brown as he ripped up the middle and a good hole for him.
The first thing I looked for as Bill Brown went for that sort of yardage were the Baltimore Colts blitzing, and sure enough, Bill Pellington was way in the backfield, the middle linebacker, as play similar to the one that sprung Tommy Mason loose on a touchdown run against the Colts in their opener. This time it was Bill Brown.
Usually when they bring Lyles, their cornerback, up to the line of scrimmage, they are ready to blitz, and he came up on that one. The ball goes to Mason, sweeping wide, the 20, the 15, cuts back, the 10, the 5. He is over, touchdown, and the Vikings lead. Tommy Mason, and he did not run fast on that one. If anybody touched him, they just barely did, but Tommy picked his spots, used his blocks beautifully, cut right, cut left, and then went on over for the touchdown. 21 yards, and the Vikings lead with 9:09 to play. The extra point try coming up by Fred Cox. The snap, the place, the kick, it's right through there. There's a timeout on the field with a score now. The Minnesota Vikings 14, the Baltimore Colts 10.
Like to dance? Try the twist. Like to drive? Try Total Performance 65 at your Ford dealers.
It's the best year yet to see the man, your Ford dealer. It's the best year to pay him a call. You'll have a ball when you see all those new Fords.
The best is here and all under one roof, your Ford dealers. The all-new 65 Ford LTD, most luxurious Ford ever built. The cool, exciting 65 Mustang 2+2 Fastback. The new Fairlane, most car a budget can buy. And the savingest Falcon yet.
It's the best year yet. Go see the man, your Ford dealer.
See the man with the newest Fords in 15 years. Discover why 65 is the best year yet to buy from your Ford dealer. The last time the Vikings scored, they went 80 yards in 6 plays. This time they went 80 yards in 7 plays. 21-yard run by Mason for the score. It's 14-10 Minnesota. 9 minutes, 9 seconds to play, and that'll be a long 9 minutes. There's the kick very high down at the goal line. It's taken by Lorick to the 10, the 15, the 20-yard line, the 25, and down on the 26-yard line. The primary tackler was Bill Swain. 1st and 10 on the 26-yard line. So now it's Baltimore's ball, and now the fireworks will come from the Baltimore side as the Colts drive toward the goal to our left. The Vikings with the lead for the first time. As far as I know, we have had no injuries on either team today, but believe me, it's been good, solid football. Slot back to the left is Moore. Back to pass. Unitas sets, cuts it loose, and he hits Moore, and he's slowed down, but he's still standing, and finally the third man gets him, and it's fumbled and sprung loose, and who got it? He tried to lateral and did so poorly, but Baltimore recovered on the 38. It was not a good play by Orr, but fortunately Hawkins recovered for Baltimore. Fortunately for Baltimore, that is. And the ball is on the Vikings' 38-yard line, a gain of 36 yards overall. Brocklin, the third man, after Orr had escaped, rose, and then someone else made the tackle. 1st and 10 on the Vikings' 38, and Baltimore bounces right back. Unitas under center with strong right. Gives it off to Hill, and he bangs into Dixon and again slips off and goes for 3 yards before Hawkins and Campbell make the stop. Dixon came straight on and hit both blockers and drove them into the ball carrier. And he really banged up that play beautifully. On the 36, it'll be 2nd and 8.
Schrockman left the field. Looks like his nose, for about the umpteenth time, is banged up again. Carl Kasulki is now playing the right corner defensive back. George Rose on the left, and now we've got Billy Butler in at the strong side safety, along with Larry Bargo, the free safety.
Strong right on 2nd and 8. Baltimore on the Vikings 36. Vikings lead 14-10. Back to pass is Unitas. Has time. Cuts it loose. He's trying to hit Hawkins, and it is incomplete down at the 12-yard line. Hawkins had gotten just inside Kasulki, and as the pass sailed by him, Kasulki came down on his back. He timed it correctly. There's no interference. It'll be 3rd down and 8 to go on the Vikings' 36-yard line. But Unitas frightens you every time he throws the ball.
Talk about a guy having rough duty. Carl Kasulki, the strong side safety, normally the strong side safety, week in and week out, has guys like John Mackey, 220 to guard, Mike Ditka from the Chicago Bears, Monty Stickles of the San Francisco 49ers, all the big guys, not to mention Ron Kramer of the Green Bay Packers, these big, towering tight ends. He only goes about 185, 190 himself. Now they put him out in place of Ed Schrockman there, and he has to watch the likes of Jimmy Orr and Hawkins, fellows who run the 10 seconds, run the 100-yard dash in about 10 seconds flat.
Baltimore has the ball on the Vikings' 36-yard line. Ray Christensen and Paul Giel bringing you this great football game. And Ed Schrockman is now going over to sit down on the bench, still being administered to. Oh, boy, Ed is really bleeding from that nose. He's got a pretty free flow there.
He's had it busted I don't know how many times in college football and in an automobile accident. Even with that nose guard, now and then you really freaky or somehow or another get banged up.
Well, Schrockman doesn't play it cute. He comes at you head first, and often that's nose first. And he is out of the game right now. 3rd down, 8 to go. Baltimore play ready to resume. Strong right, the formation. Orr is split right. Hawkins to the left. Back goes Unitas. Setting. The rush is on, and he is hit as he tried to let it go. Coming through is Marshall, and he spoiled the pass completely. He hit Unitas just as he let it go, and the pass was far short. It was intended up the middle for Orr, who was coming back, but he didn't have a chance. It was 10 yards short of him because of Jim Marshall, and that brings up 4th down. We have 7 minutes, 3 seconds to go. The ball is on the 36-yard line, and it's still 8 to go for a 1st down. I don't think they brought the punter in, did they, Paul?
No, they didn't. I saw Hill, the fullback, mention something to Unitas as if to say on the little swing pattern on the flare where I sneak out to the right or left, I was open on that last particular pattern.
So here we go, 4th and 8 on the 36-yard line. Unitas under center. They're going to go for it with 7 minutes left. He's back to pass. He's looking. The rush is on. He throws the screen out to Moore. He goes down to the 35, the 30-yard line, to the 25. He'll have the 1st down. Billy Butler tackled him. Could be a very important play. Baltimore with 4th and 8, gambled, and it paid off. Screen pass to Lenny Moore on the left side, and he vaulted his way to the 30. There was hit by Billy Butler, and he fell on the 25. A gain of 11. They needed 8. It's 1st and 10 on the Vikings 25. Baltimore with the ball, 6:25 left to play. Vikings lead 14-10. Strong right to formation. Unitas pitches it out. Moore sweeping wide, and Eller catches up with him, and then he keeps standing. Eller didn't get him, but Rose knocks him to the sidelines, and Butler knocks him out of bounds. Boy, that Moore just refused to be knocked out. He wound up with a loss, but it could have been worse because Carl Eller, a good tackler, hit him hard from behind, and then Carl fell, and he was still running. Lenny Moore wound up with a 2-yard loss at the 27. Rose slowed him up, and finally he was driven out at the 27.
At halftime, Don Kellett, the general manager of the Colts, was saying that Tom Matty, the former great from Ohio State, the replacement for Lenny Moore, has really pushed Moore for a job. So Moore has just really gone to the heights that he showed in 1956 through 1960.
2nd down and 12 to go. The pitch out didn't work, so let's see what Unitas does this time. Strong right is formation once again. He's back to pass, looking, has time, cuts it loose. He's trying to hit Hawkins at the goal line. He's got it, touchdown. Great catch. A diving catch by Hawkins at the goal line. Baltimore gets the lead back at 16-14 with 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go on a 27-yard pass to Hawkins, who dove for it and got it at the goal line. The extra point is good. There's a timeout on the field with the score now. Baltimore 17, the Vikings 14.
Today, more than ever, a truck is a business machine. And now, new for 1965, Ford builds you the truck that's just right for your business. The new Ford pickup introduces the new twin I-beam. First, independent front suspension with big truck durability. Tougher pickup, smoother ride. The new Ford Econoline van features new engines, new power, as much as 48% more power available. Low, flat floor, up to 8 doors, proven economy. The new Ford Ranchero, more powerful, better looking than ever. Hundreds of dollars less than the nearest competitor. Ford trucks for 65, built to last longer. Now at your Ford dealers.
For the longest line of trucks in the industry, see your Ford dealer. See why 65 is the best year yet to go Ford. We have just over 6 minutes to play. Baltimore back in the lead, 17-14. Let's see what the Vikings can do. The last 2 times they've had the ball, they have scored, going 80 yards both times. Baltimore this time went 74 yards in 7 plays. Lou Michaels will kick off. There's his kick. A high spinning kick. It'll be short of the goal line. Coming up, Butler takes it on the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20-yard line, the 25-yard line. Still going, wriggles away to the 30 and still running, goes out to the 35-yard line. Beautiful return by Billy Butler before he was tackled. It'll be 1st and 10 Vikings from the 35-yard line after a 30-yard return by Bill Butler.
Again, we've just got to repeat it. This is one of the roughest, toughest football games I've ever seen in my life. The Baltimore Colts on top in the Western Division with an 8-1 record. The Minnesota Vikings tied for 4th with Green Bay 5-4, but the Vikings are looking like they're tied with Baltimore for the lead.
Strong right formation for the Vikings. The crowd making a lot of noise. Tarkenton gives it off to Mason, and he was hit before he could even get moving. Coming through to get him was Fred Miller, a tackle. He lost the yard. 2nd and 11 from the 34-yard line. Fred Miller saw that one coming all the way. No, they put it down at the 35, so it's no gain. 2nd and 10 Vikings. 5:15 says the clock. We'll try to give the time almost every play because it becomes increasingly important now. 17-14, Baltimore leads. The Vikings, strong right. Tarkenton under center is back to pass. He's looking, gets his pass away, and he hits Bedsole at the 40, and he is tripped up and down immediately. Butch Wilson made the stop, but the Vikings have a first down on their own 48-yard line, a gain of 13 yards. Hal Bedsole, who caught a touchdown pass earlier, grabs this one for a first down. The Vikings from their own 48 trying to keep moving down the field. 4:40 says the clock, plenty of time remaining. And the Vikings are in no hurry right now. Right now, they've got to figure this is the chance and that they will not get another one. And there's plenty of time on this chance. Strong right to formation. Tarkenton under center. 17-14 Baltimore. The give and straight ahead. Bill Brown goes from his own 48 to the Baltimore 48. A gain of 4, 2nd and 6. The clock shows 4:18 to go. Call it a 3-yard gain. It's closer to that, to the 49 of Baltimore. 2nd down and a short 7 to go on the Baltimore 49. Vikings back in the huddle. The clock ticking away, getting close to the 4-minute mark. It is there right now as the Vikings break their huddle. Reichow flanked out to the left, to the right, Tom Hall. Strong left the formation. Tarkenton calling signals on 2nd and 7 on the 49 of the Colts. He's back to pass in the pocket. The rush is on. He tries to get it away. Starts to scramble. There was a flag as he starts to run the 50. And still running, he falls forward to the 48. But there was a flag farther upfield. It's against the Vikings as they try desperately to protect Francis, and they'll get a 15-yard penalty, which will amount to close to 30 yards from the original line of scrimmage. It happened back on their own 43, which was 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It goes all the way back to their 27-yard line. So that's 24 yards in all. An expensive holding penalty puts the Vikings way back to their own 27-yard line. So it's 2nd down, and they have to get to the 42. 32 to go for a first down. They have to get to the 42 of Baltimore. Second down. The pressure on the Vikings now with 3:41 to play. Tarkenton with strong left is under center. He's back to pass. Has some time. Now the rush is on, and he is thrown down on his 14-yard line. Again, it was Fred Miller who broke through to spoil the play. Miller, who earlier tackled Mason. The ball is back on the 14-yard line. So now the pressure really on the Vikings. It'll be third down coming. They're on their own 14, and they have to get to the 42-yard line. So that's third and 44 to go for a first down, and they've got to get it on this play or come mighty close to it.
This is where the Baltimore Colts will play it real loose, obviously. They'll put a pretty good rush on, but probably with just the front four men. Their linebackers will drop off. Their deep defensive backs will play about 10, 12 yards back instead of the 6 or 7 or 8 yards that they normally play.
The Vikings set to go. They split Bedsole, the tight end, out inside, of course. They split another man out. Brown, only one man back. Mason back to pass. Tarkenton on his goal line, trying to wriggle around, and he's still in his end zone. Starts to run out, throws it on the run, and hits Mason at the 20. He's out to the 25, to the 30-yard line, just to the 29. There was a flag back at the 23. A flag was dropped at the 23 as Mason ran it out to the 29-yard line for a 15-yard gain. It would not nearly be enough. So if it's against the Vikings, then Baltimore likely would turn it down because the Vikings would still be way short of a first down by some 29 yards. And the option is apparently being discussed with Baltimore. Likely was holding or clipping. The ball is being placed on the 29, so the penalty has been refused. Now we'll see what it was. It was clipping against the Vikings back at around the 22. The Baltimore wants the ball, though, and the Vikings have it on their own 29-yard line. It's fourth down and 29 to go, and the Vikings are going to kick. Bobby Walden, at least they're lining up that way. Walden standing on his 15-yard line. We have 2 minutes, 57 seconds to go. The snapback. Bobby is ready, and he gets the kick away very high, way down past the 20, the 15, taken and backing up to the 13. Starting back upfield now is Harris, and he is crushed down at the 24-yard line. Another fine punt by Walden, who has averaged close to 50 yards today. It'll be first and 10 Baltimore from its own 24-yard line, and now the Colts will just try to keep that ball, and if they can, they'll win this hard-fought ball game. 2:44 to play. Baltimore on its own 24-yard line after an 11-yard return. That was a 66-yard punt. I'll have to refigure this one. 21, 56-yard punt. 56 yards, that's right. Didn't think it was quite that far. Slot back left is Moore. Quarterback Unitas, first and 10 from his 24-yard line. He gives it to Hill, and Hill bangs straight ahead. The Vikings are waiting for him, and a charge the other way, led by Rip Hawkins, with Marshall and Campbell there. Holds him to a 1-yard gain. It'll be second and 9 to go from the 25-yard line. 2:10 says the clock, and it's still on the move. The Vikings cannot call timeout yet. They can, but I don't think they want to, because in case they get the ball back, they may need them then. But eventually, they may have to.
All they can do right now is hit that ball carrier a little bit harder, if that's possible, and scratch and claw and try to shake that ball loose and fall on it and go back in for a tally.
Right now we have the 2-minute warning, so that stops the clock for the Vikings. But after this, they will not get any help. Going over to the respective sidelines, the referee signals both coaches as to how many timeouts they have remaining. 2 minutes to play. Baltimore has the ball and the lead. It's second and 9 from its own 25-yard line. The score 17-14 for the Colts, with all of the scoring in the second half.
Don Shula has done an excellent job with the Baltimore Colts. Don taking over his second year. He's 34 years old, a former linebacker with the Baltimore Colts, and before joining the Colts as head coach, he was the defensive backfield coach for the Detroit Lions. Of late, a number of the Baltimore players have been raving about the way he's handled the ball players for a fellow his age. He talks man-to-man, and he gets the most out of them.
Play ready to resume. Strong right to formation on second and 9. Unitas under center. Has Matty in there as he gives it off to Hill, and Hill bangs ahead for 5 yards before Dixon and Campbell make the tackle. The Vikings now call a timeout to stop the clock with 1:54 remaining. The ball is on the 30-yard line. It'll be third down coming. 4 to go for a first down. Baltimore needs one more first down. If the Vikings can stop the Colts on this play, Baltimore presumably would be forced to punt. Baltimore needs 4 yards. Right now they have running backs in there. Their toughest runners, Tom Matty. Well, nothing wrong with Lenny Moore, but Matty for short yardage is the tougher runner. And, of course, Jerry Hill still in there at fullback. It'll be third down, just about exactly 4 yards to go. Baltimore on its own 30-yard line with a lead of 17-14 and 1:54 to play. The Vikings have used up one of their timeouts to stop the clock. Players from both benches standing to watch the action. Strong right to formation. Third down and 4. Unitas under center. Has the ball. He's back to pass. Now he starts to run, and he'll have the first down as he comes out before Fargo gets him to the 38-yard line. A gain of 8. The Vikings trying to cover every possibility, did not cover that one. It was a brilliant call by Unitas. And the Vikings again stop the clock with a timeout. But now, just a minute and 44 seconds to go, and they apparently have one more timeout, but I'm not certain of that. In any event, they have many more ways of stopping the clock, and Baltimore has that much-needed first down, and really all the Colts have to do now is hang on to the ball. They can just about run out the clock on this sequence. They are on their own 38, first and 10. Timeout on the field at the moment, 17-14. Baltimore has the lead. Alex Hawkins comes into the lineup, another running halfback. If need be, he comes in at an end right now as Matty and Hill stay behind the quarterback, Unitas. He splits Orr out a little bit, but mostly a tight line. Gives it now to Hill coming wide, and he gets away from Koselke, and Marshall from behind wrestles him out of bounds at the 43 or 44-yard line. It was a gain of close to 6 yards. And he did not go out of bounds, and the Vikings have to use their final timeout to stop the clock with 1:32 to go. Ball has not been placed down yet. It'll be close to the 44. That's what it is. It'll be second down and 4 to go. And after this, all Baltimore has to do is run the ball because there's no other way to stop the clock, barring incomplete passes and out-of-bounds plays.
Johnny Unitas very seldom runs with the ball, but like he did a few minutes ago, or I should say almost a few seconds ago, he always does it when he needs that key first down late in the ball game, and the defense is spread. He'll take off and run and pick up valuable yardage.
Second down, 4 to go from the 44-yard line. Unitas now has Tony Lorick, and Hill with him. Ball goes to Lorick, and he slants and breaks into the open at the 50 and goes to the Vikings 48 before Rip Hawkins tackles him. Fargo helped out. The ball is on the Vikings 47. That's the first down for Baltimore, and barring a fumble, they've got it made now. What a battle this has been, but Baltimore in the driver's seat now has it first and 10 on the Vikings 47 with a minute 10 seconds to go. The clock on the move, and the Vikings have no more timeouts with which to stop it. 17-14 Baltimore, 1 minute to play right now as Baltimore breaks huddle. They have to run 2 more plays, and if nothing else stops the clock, that would be it. Unitas with strong right. Keeps the ball and falls down. He's taking no chances. He does not need any more first downs. With 45 seconds to play, Baltimore breaks the pile very slowly. They're in no hurry at all. They've got to run 1 more. The ball will be placed on the 47, no gain, second and 10 to go. Baltimore no longer interested in gains, interested only in hanging on to the ball. And they only have to do it 1 more time. 23 seconds to go as they break huddle. This is the last play they have to run unless the clock is stopped. And Unitas keeps the ball and falls on it for no gain with 15 seconds to go. And now they can go back in the huddle and watch the clock. 9, 8, you can hear the crowd. It's all over. The players from both teams shaking hands and congratulating each other on a game well played, and it was just that. One of the finest games of the year, with Baltimore coming out on top 17-14, and we'll have a summary of this game in 1 minute.
Say, have you been there yet?
Been where yet?
Your Ford dealers. This is the year to go. Yeah, it's the best year yet to visit your Ford dealer. Best year yet.
What is it your Ford dealer's got, my pet?
Only your Ford dealer's got the new Fords. Best Fords yet.
Yes, now your Ford dealer's got the best Fords yet. Try the all-new LTD, most luxurious Ford ever. The sleek new 2+2 Mustang Fastback sports car. The 65 Fairlane, stacked with looks and packed with value. The new Falcon with great new Go, plus great new gas savings.
Yeah, it's the best year yet to buy at your Ford dealers.
Best year yet to try at your Ford dealers.
Best Fords yet. See why at your Ford dealers. Go see the Fords today.
Your host for the second half of today's game has been your neighborhood Ford dealer. He's the man with the newest Fords in 15 years. 44 of the most exciting and inviting cars ever built. You try Total Performance 65. Test drive one of these new Fords. You'll find out why. This is the best year yet.